Yo, 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 what's going on? What's going on, fam? Oh, man, it's your boy, man. Back with another video. And as usual, man, we just want to give all thanks and praise to our glorious divine creator. You know what I'm saying? For the opportunity to build, commune, you know what I'm saying, with the tribe, as always. It's a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying, and a beautiful blessing. And I give all thanks and praise for it. So hope y'all out there doing good. Hope everybody all right. Hope you had your little recovery from from the previous wickedness of this wicked nation. You know what I'm saying? Hope everything's straight out there, man. I just want to come to y'all with this video. As we continue to move and we continue to vibe with this frequency and this wave, you know what I'm saying, and as we grow, as we continue to build, as we continue to lay bigger stones and bigger planks of wood, you know what I'm saying, we just continue to grow, you know what I'm saying, and so, and as we continue to move in that direction, we tend to, gather ourselves together and build as a community, you know what I'm saying, and that's what it's all about essentially. So, now, me, you know what I'm saying, try to incorporate these laws really in everything we do, because that's the only thing that really matters, you know what I'm saying, really is sufficient in the movement, you know what I'm saying, because any type of establishment can be set up, but we trying to exodus, we trying to receive our inheritance, and we know the only way we do that is when we bonded to that covenant, when we're bonded to that law, you know what I'm saying. So I just want to build, you know what I'm saying, on the lawful aspect of a community and establishment, you know what I'm saying, in this time of wilderness. So I pray that y'all, you know what I'm saying, enjoy the video and you get some meat and some food out of it, you know what I'm saying. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go. Alright, so before I get into the, you know what I'm saying, the information or whatnot, I want to show you one of these documents I'm be coming from, which is the complete Dead Sea Scrolls in English. This PDF right here is 804 pages. Table of contents, you know what I'm saying, got the Damascus document, the Masonic rule, War Scrolls, Book of War, Temple Scrolls, you know what I'm saying, community rule, entry into the covenant, 4 classes of the community. So I'm gonna be touching on in this document a little bit, so whenever you see me come over here to this PDF, you know what I'm saying, that's what I'm gonna be dealing with these Dead Sea Scrolls that the Essenes, the sons of the Zadokite priesthood, had wrote for us. So alright, fam, so I wanna come over here to Isaiah chapter 35. I know I had touched on this in my previous video, but we're gonna come over here and hit it again, because provide some interesting perspective, you know what I'm saying. Some of the other verses I hit on, you know what I'm saying, in my last video, we're gonna touch on them in this one too. So we over here in Isaiah chapter 35, where you see it say the ransom shall return, right? So it reads, the wilderness, right? The wilderness and the solitary place. Alright, we're gonna touch on this solitary place. Shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose. It shall blossom abundantly and rejoice even with the joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it. The excellency of Carmel and Sharon, they shall see the glory of the Lord and the excellency of our God. Strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. Say to them that are fearful, that are of a fearful heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come with vengeance, even God with a recompense. He will come and save you. Alright, so the Most High will come and save you. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap as an hart, and the tongue of the dumb sing. For in the wilderness shall waters break out, and streams in the desert. and the parched ground shall become a pool, and the thirsty land springs of water. Alright, in the habitation of dragons where each lay shall be grass with the reeds and rushes. Alright, and a highway shall be there, and a way, okay, a way. And it shall be called the way of holiness. Right? Shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over it, but it shall be for those, the wayfaring men, though fools, shall not err therein. No lion shall be there, nor any ravenous beast shall go up thereon. It shall be found there. It shall not be found there, but the redeemed shall walk there. All right. And the ransomed of the Lord shall return and come to Zion with songs and everlasting joy upon their heads. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and singing shall flee away. All right, so I just wanted to touch on this right here. This way, right? And a highway shall be there, right? Speaking about in the wilderness and in the solitary place. All right, this highway shall be there, this way, and it shall be called the way of holiness. All right, so remember we had went and we precept that with Isaiah chapter 40, where it say come ye, it say comfort ye, my people, saith your God. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her welfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned, for she hath received of the Lord's hand double for all her sins. The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Alright, so check that out right there. You know what I'm saying? Especially when the Most High is telling you, you know what I'm saying, that you know what I'm saying, your bondage has been lifted up off of you, for you have suffered, you have paid. You know what I'm saying? So now he say, the voice that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Now we know who, you know what I'm saying, supposedly this was in reference to, you know, based upon the New Testament. And it was the prophet John. So let's go to the prophet John to get his words. Okay, so again, we're going to come over here first, to John chapter 1. We're going to start at verse 19 of the testimony of John the Baptist. And it say, and this is the record of John. And the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask, who art thou? Now, like I say, John is supposedly a descendant of the Zadokite priesthood. You know what I'm saying? He comes from the bloodline of Zadok. So, and he studied with the Essenes because they are his, you know what I'm saying, they are his priestly house, you know, and council. You know what I'm saying? So now you got the wicked ones who wish to oppress the Essene council or the true righteous priesthood, which is the Zadokite priesthood. So you got the wicked council who wants to suppress the righteous, right? So you have these other priests and Levites, like I say, coming from Jerusalem to see who John was, because John separated into the wilderness, or this, you know, this person John, or this priest John, separated into the wilderness, and he did something. He established this way, right? So we're gonna check it out. It say, and this is the record of John when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, who art thou? And he confessed and denied not, but confessed, I am not the Christ. And they asked him, what then? Art thou Elias? And he said, I am not. So here, supposedly, he denied being Elijah. But we're gonna see though, you know. And he saith, I am not. Art thou the prophet, that prophet? And he answered, no. Then said they unto him, what art thou? That we may give an answer to them that sent us. What saying thou of thyself? He said, I am the voice of one crying in the wilderness, make straight the way of the Lord, as said the prophet Isaiah. Right? So now, your boy John is in the wilderness baptizing people, cleaning them, because he has to bring them back to the Lord. Right? So he tell them that this is what he is. You see what I'm saying? He is the voice of one crying in the wilderness, make straight the way of the Lord. Now, when we go back to Isaiah chapter 35, we know that way, that highway that's in the wilderness, you know what I'm saying, is the way, right? Is a way called the way of holiness. You see what I'm saying? So John is essentially establishing this way of holiness, this cleanliness, this way of cleanliness, right? Because as you see right here, say the unclean shall not pass over. So John is then cleansing the people of the nation of Israel, bringing them back into the Most High. So let's dig on John just a little bit. So it say John the Baptist, right? Known as Prophet Yahya in the Quran, also known as John the Baptizer. Like I said, now baptize means to, you know, submerge in the water, which in Christian means to be baptized. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a purification ritual. But now don't get it confused with this, because this is something that somebody else, you know what I'm saying? This is a usurpation of what this character represents. So he is called a prophet by all of these traditions, and is honored as a saint in many Christian traditions. John used baptism as a symbol of sacrament of his Messianic movement. Most scholars agree that John baptized Jesus. Scholars generally believe Jesus was a follower or disciple of John. This idea is strongly controverted, however, by John the Baptist's own words in Scripture, although several New Testament accounts reports of some of Jesus' early followers had previously been followers of John. All right, so John the Baptist is also mentioned by the Jewish historian Josephus. Some scholars maintain that John was influenced by the semi-ascetic Essenes. Right, now pay attention to that word ascetic. Now, like I say, John is from the line of Zadok, because even his father Zechariah was a priest in the temple who was putting incense on the altar. And we know that only the children of Aaron could really, you know, hold that office. And the righteous priesthood of the time was this priesthood stemming from Zadok, who helped David and Solomon establish the temples of the Most High. So it say, according to the New Testament, John anticipated a messianic figure greater than himself. Christians commonly refer to John as the precursor or the forerunner of Jesus. Okay, you know, but this is really what I want to get right here. It says John is also identified with the prophet Elijah. Now, as we've seen, you know what I'm saying, John denied himself being Elijah, but we know that the character in which he came in and what he embodies and represents was it fits, you know what I'm saying, the criteria for that coming Elijah that was prophesied in Malachi, things like that. So we're gonna go ahead and jump over to Malachi real quick. Okay, before we jump over to Malachi, there was something in here I wanted to read with y'all. I think John and Elijah. Okay, the Gospels vary in their depiction of John's relationship to Elijah. Matthew and Mark describe John's attire in a way reminiscent of the description of Elijah in 2 Kings chapter 1 verse 8, who also wore a garment of hair and a leather belt. In Matthew, Jesus explicitly teaches that John is Elijah who was to come. That John was Elijah who was to come. All right, and check out these. Many Christian theologians have taken this to mean that John was Elijah's successor. In the Gospel of John, John the Baptist explicitly denies being Elijah. See, in the Annunciation narrative in Luke, an angel appears to Zechariah, John's father, and tells him that John will turn many of the sons of Israel to their God, to the Lord their God, and that he will go forth in the spirit and power of Elijah, right? He has to turn the nation back to their father, right? So, like I said, he will go forth in the spirit and the power of Elijah. Now, first, I want to come over here to this word right here, Ias. Is however you really want to pronounce this. But it's like the Roman, or you know, it's whatever is their word for law. You know what I'm saying? Even like if you check out natural law, right? Like my brother Natural Law was breaking down, you see it's called Ius Natural, or Lex Naturalis, right? So natural law is law. So when you look at this, you get de jure, right? Latin, literally of law, thus legitimate, lawful, by right of law, and required by law, right? Jure, see just, okay? A jury's counsel, one is who gives an opinions on the case of the law. Genitive of ius, law, see juris. So when you go to juris, check this out. It's one who practices law, right? A legal writer, one who professes the science of the law. Okay, check the history, check the history, check the history. Especially legal right or authority, law, place where justice is administered, right? Court of justice. Literally sacred formula. Eos, however you want to say it, that originated in the religious code from pi root Yewis, law. Now this root right here is very similar to this Ias and this Yewis and things like that is very similar to like Yeshua or salvation, Joshua, because the J and the S are really the only consonants, and the J and the SH, are really the only consonants in the word. So it would be that Yod and that Samek or Shin, you know what I'm saying? That Shin or whatnot. Even like right here, you know what I'm saying? In Ayas, it would just be that Yod and that Shin. So now with that connection being stated, and then Yah was being referred to the law. What's interesting about that, it says compare Latin rare to pronounce a ritual formula, verdict, yos, health, right? Now health also goes back to holiness, holy. Now check this out. Avestan yaos da, make ritually pure. Alright, so keep that in mind, because what John is doing, he is essentially making ritually pure. He's making people ritually pure, making them white and clean, right? Morally pure and clean from unholiness and sin. Alright, so I want to bring you over here to Malachi, to the book of Malachi, right? Malachi, the messenger, dealing with the messenger. And as we see right here in chapter 3, the verse opens up with, behold, I will send my messenger, right? So now when you go 2 chapters back, we see right here say, and ye shall know that I have sent this commandment unto you, speaking of these priests, right? That my covenant might be with Levi, right? The tribe of priests. My covenant was with him of life and peace. The law of truth was in his mouth, right? And did turn away many from iniquity, right? So he purified and cleansed them with knowledge, wisdom, and the law of the truth. For the priest's lips shall keep knowledge, right? So and they shall seek the law at his mouth, for he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts, right? So he is the messenger, right? These cleaning priests, right? Which the prophet John who established this way came in the characteristics of. So we're gonna jump back over here in Malachi chapter 3. It says, behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way, right, before me, and the Lord whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, right, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. But it say, who may abide in the day of his coming, right? I'm trying to tell you. And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire, right? Like full of soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and a purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi, right? And purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord an offering of righteousness, right? With this cleanliness, right? Cleaning and purifying and refining these children, right? These priestly ministers, right? As well as the children of the nation of Israel, right? It say that then shall the offering of Judah and Jerusalem be pleasant unto the Lord, as in the days of old, and as in former years. And I will come near to you to judgment, and I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers, and against the adulterers, and against the false swearers, and against those that oppress the hireling in his wages, the widow and the fatherless, and that turn aside the stranger from his right. and fear not me, saith the Lord, right? Now check this out. He say, for I am the Lord, I change not, right? Firm, steady, steadfast. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Okay? So even from the days of your fathers ye are gone away from mine ordinance, and have not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return unto you, saith the Lord of hosts. But ye said, wherein shall we return? Now check this out now, because people like to use this. It's crazy because they using this to literally rob the nation right here. What we finna get into, but it's crazy because it's when you look at it, it's really dealing with something else. You feel what I'm saying? So check this out. He said, will a man rob God? Yet ye have robbed me. But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. Now, you got a lot of pastors, right? A lot of preachers, and false prophets that'll use this verse right here, and it'll make them rich, you know what I'm saying? And they'll generate revenue, you know what I'm saying, with this verse. Or they'll say that the laws of the Old Testament are done away with, but they still keep these tithes and offerings and, you know what I'm saying, these biblical laws and stuff like that, regardless of what they say is for, you know what I'm saying? But it's crazy because when you really understand what's going on, the Most High really ain't even talking about, you know what I'm saying, what they got going on. But check out what he say. He say, ye are cursed with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. Right? Now he say, bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there might be meat in my house, right? In mine house. And now prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground, neither shall your vine cast her fruits before the time in the field, saith the Lord of hosts. All nations shall call you blessed, for ye shall be a delightsome land, saith the Lord. Your words have been stout against me, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, what have we spoken so much against thee? Now, all right, so right there, I'm now dealing with this. Will a man rob God? Oh, excuse me. But the crazy thing about it is, like I say, people use this, to refer to tithes and offering. But really what it's talking about is you have robbed God. Let me see if I can give it even this whole nation, because no one is operating under his covenant. You feel what I'm saying? No one is bonded to his covenant. That's what makes the nation. The covenant gives the nation its identity and its legal status as a nation, right? So if you are black, right, being called, things like pale and bleach and terrible, wicked, evil, things like that. You are not bonded in a system of moral purity and natural law. You're in oppression, and you're bonded to some legal systems, right? That somebody came and enforced over you. So you are not in the registry of the righteous nation of the Most High. So you have robbed him, everyone, of this nation. That's why he say, bring ye all the tithes into my storehouse. Come, you know what I'm saying? Come into this registry of this nation that's bounded to ecclesiastical law. And he say that there may be meat in mine house. And prove me now herewith, saith the Lord, if I will not open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing. You feel what I'm saying? He say, try, come back. You know what I'm saying? That's why he say, return unto me, and I will return unto you. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. But ye say, wherein shall we return? Will a man rob God? You know what I'm saying? It's real now. So we're gonna keep going. Let's see where we at. It say, ye have said it is vain to serve God, right? What profit is it that we have kept his ordinance? You know what I'm saying? What good does that do? And that we have walked mournfully, right? Mournfully, okay? Mournfully, hold on. Okay, got to bring you over here to Jeremiah 14, chapter 14, verse 2 real quick. And he say, Judah mourneth, right? Judah mourneth, the gates there are language. They are black. See what I'm saying? That's the status of the nation. They are black. Okay, so, you know what I'm saying, coming back to Malachi, say that we have walked mournfully, right, before the Lord of hosts. And now we call the happy proud, the proud happy. Yeah, they that work wickedness are set up. Check that out. And I wonder what they being called. Anyways, yeah, they that tempt God are even delivered, right? So, so to understand that, right? So, like he say, you know what I'm saying? He say, now, you say, how, you know, do we come back? Or, you know, or what profit is it to keep his audience? Because we have been walking mournfully, like the verse said, Judah mourneth, right? The gates thereof language. They are black. Now the gates, they tell you are what? Are symbolic to the governmental structures, the govern, you know, the governors, the government, you know what I'm saying? You know, the priests, the kings and stuff like that. So if the gates thereof language have fallen, you know what I'm saying? They say they are black. You know what I'm saying? So now they walking in this mournful state and that status of being black. Because check something out. Okay, so come over here to Ezekiel chapter 17, remember? And it's dealing with the parable of the two eagles in the vine, right? And one of the great eagles with great wings, full of feathers and diverse colors, came unto Lebanon, right? Diverse colors. That's crazy, right? Make you think of races. Anyways, it say came unto Lebanon. All right. So now when the Most High give you the parable, you know what I'm saying, or the second eagle, this is what he tell you. He say, thus saith the Lord God. He say, I will take of the highest branch of the high cedar, right? Because we know that we are what? Cedars of Lebanon, right? The planting of the Lord. It say, and I will set it. I will crop off from the top of his young twigs a tender one, and I will plant it upon a high mountain and eminent. Okay, so very important wording, because you know when you look up the etymology of sovereignty, you see it deals with preeminence, right? It say, now check this out. In the mountain of the height of Israel will I plant it, and it shall bring forth boughs and bear fruit and be a goodly cedar. And under it shall dwell all fowl of every wing, in the shadow of the branches thereof shall they dwell. And all the trees of the field shall know that I, the Lord, have brought down the high tree, right, and exalted the low tree, and have dried up the green tree, and have made the dry tree to flourish. I, the Lord, have spoken it and have done it. All right, so now this goodly cedar, right, that's going to bear fruit, right, which is dealing with the newly established nation of God's people that have came back unto him. He say, in a mountain of the height of Israel will I plant this cedar, right? In the height of Israel. Okay, so when we come over here to the Dead Sea Scrolls, like I showed you in the beginning where we were going to be coming out of, it's interesting because right here, it states, it says from that moment, right, the secretary, speaking of this established sect, right, was raised to an everlasting height and joined to the everlasting council, the congregation of the sons of heaven. So this council of this community, right, was joined with the heavenly council, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, right, joined with the angels. Now check out what it says. It says from that moment the sectary was raised to an everlasting height, right? And remember in Ezekiel, when we was talking about that cedar, right, that goodly cedar, the Most High tell us in the mountain of the height of Israel when he will plant it. Now the children of Israel were just walking mournfully, you know what I'm saying? So like he said in Jeremiah, he said they are black, right? They are mournfully. Now in the mountain of the height of Israel where this newly cedar be planted. But what's interesting about it is when we look up the etymology on status, it deals with 1670 height, right? Height of a situation or condition. Later, legal standing of a person, right? Status, condition, position, state, matter, attribute, right? To stand, right? To stand, make or be firm, all right? Like a tree, right? When you let's see if we can, hold on. All right, knowing that we cedars of Lebanon, we know that what? A tree is to be firm, solid, and steadfast. You know what I'm saying? So when you go back to status, it's dealing with, right, stop, to stand, make, or be firm. So we are to be made trees, right? These cedars, right? That shall be what? That shall be planted in the mountain of the height of Israel, of the status of Israel as a nation, a morally pure, clean nation. You know what I'm saying? Not saying they, but we know that, you know what I'm saying, these are what? People of Lebanon, right? That have came from Shittim or Lebanon, the place of the cedars, to establish themselves in the birthing of a nation. Now we're going to talk about that birth of a nation. Okay, so coming back to Malachi chapter 3, verse 16, right? See, it says the book of remembrance. Then they that feared the Lord spake often to one another, and the Lord hearkened, and he heard it. And a book of remembrance was written before him, for them that feared the Lord, and that brought up his name. Now, understand something. The Lord, right, heard this, and he had a book of remembrance written. Now, when you check out, you know, the etymology on remembrance, it'll take you back to memory. Now, when you check out, you know, the history on the word record, it takes you back to memory. So literally, the book of remembrance is a book of records. You know what I'm saying? Which was written before him. So this could either be talking about the scriptures that he had formed, the King James, by whatever it be, the scriptures and the records that he had put together for us to be established in these last days, or whether it be talking about the scrolls of the sons of Zadok that he had them separate and write, right, as they were groping about the righteous way. You know what I'm saying? So it says, and they shall be mine, right? All right, so, and they shall be mine, saith the Lord, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. Then shall ye return and discern between righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth God and him that serveth him not. All right, so continuing on, we gonna come over here to the great day of the Lord, right? In Malachi, in the next chapter over, in Malachi chapter 4, say, for behold, that day cometh, that shall burn as an oven. Hey, and all the proud, all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave neither root nor branch. Now, boy, hey, I know, boy, it's getting hot. It's getting hot. Alright. Say, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in its wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as cows in the stall. Now remember, we touched on that. And ye shall tread down the wickedly. Say, and ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet, in the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord of hosts. He say, remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, right? Remember ye the law of Moses, my minister, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel with the statutes and judgment. Behold, I will send you the Elijah the prophet, right, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord, and he shall turn the hearts of the fathers and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. All right, so check that out, right? So this is where we getting this prophesied Elijah to come. Right, that shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to the father. Like you say, remember ye the law of Moses. All right, now what's interesting is, we know John is cleaning people. He is cleaning people, making them white and clear and pure in the wilderness. Right now, it's very interesting because now if that wilderness be Lebanon, excuse me, sorry about that. But if that wilderness be Lebanon, then we know it is a place of cedars, right? Now cedars are used for purification process, so that wouldn't be, out the way to say that John is in a place of cedars. But now check this out. Now I tell you that the day come that shall burn as an oven, right? And all the wickedly shall be stubble, right? They won't be able to process that heat. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. Now, if you fear the Lord's name, that means you adhere to his law. Now, they told you that the law shall you seek the law at the priest's mouth, right? So if John is this priest that is cleaning people in the wilderness, you see what I'm saying? Making them clean, right? Bringing them back into the Most High, making them righteous. He say, but in you But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in its wings. Now we know cedar is used to cleanse leprosy, right? Cedar literally has the ability to like invoke the melanin, you know what I'm saying? Like make it surface, make it come back, or make it secrete at higher concentrations, right? Which was why the priest was using the Lebanon cedar, you know what I'm saying, to cleanse leprosy, and it was literally bringing the coloration back. So understand, cedar is literally tied or connected to melanin. You know what I'm saying? Which is a powerful thing, you know what I'm saying? Especially considering us as melanated people. So, now when you're dealing with, like, we are the cedars of Lebanon, purified, right, morally pure trees, the cedar is with purification. And so, you know what I'm saying, you can really see, dealing with the wilderness, the separation and the purification in this process being cedars of Lebanon, how we would be able, you know what I'm saying, to process, right, that day when the sun cometh, right, and the Son of Righteousness shall arise with healing in his wings for those that fear his name, and they shall go forth and grow up as calves in the stall. Okay, so coming back to Isaiah 35 real quick, we understand that this way of holiness, this highway in the wilderness, that this highway in the wilderness, right, is supposedly established by the prophet John, you know what I'm saying, to cleanse and bring the people back into the national registry of the Most High. So, you know what I'm saying? So now we dealing with the wilderness, right? And it said the glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it. You know what I'm saying? And Lebanon is the place of cedar. So like we were saying, understanding how even in Malachi chapter 4, when it's telling you about the sun coming and heating up, and it's telling you that the prophet, you know what I'm saying, Elijah will come in that same chapter, right? Which is supposedly referring to the prophet John. Understand how being in the wilderness, being pure and clean and separated amongst them cedars, you know what I'm saying, might be able to charge up that melanin, you know what I'm saying, and allow you to be able to process that heat and grow up, in a genetic evolutionary process, and be those truly spiritual and empowered beings of the Most High God. So now we're dealing with that cedar. We see that, you know what I'm saying, if John is cleaning them in the wilderness, he is bringing them, like I say, back into the national registry. This is, in the wilderness, you have a birth of a nation. You know what I'm saying? So I want to touch on this cedar a little bit in dealing with the birth of a nation. All right, fam. So I want to bring you over here and touch on these cedars, you know what I'm saying, for a little bit of some interesting things, you know what I'm saying. I wanted to share with the tribe about these cedars. One of them coming from this article right here, Druid Garden WordPress, the Druid Garden, Sacred Tree Profile, Eastern White Cedar, right? White being Lebanon, so Lebanon cedar, you can say, hey. But you know what it is, man. So, we want to dig on those cedars, man. I want to give a shout out to the tribe, man, and everybody like that, man, who has been bringing this information to the forefront and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So I want to get right here to deities that reside in the cedar. Deities that reside in cedar protecting the people, right? This article, man, has a lot of great interesting things, man. But I want to jump down, like I say, some of these subtitles right here and just share with y'all a couple of them. So said deities that reside in cedar protecting the people. In multiple legends spanning Native American cultures, the cedar is said to house a deity or a powerful spirit that will protect the people. Check that out. For example, the Mandan myth first creator and lone man who helped first creator create the world was born into the flesh. Before he leaves his people, he tells them erect a cedar pole as a totem pole and paint it red. This cedar is his body, and it will protect the people from all harm. In another tale, this one unknown from the tribe Mother Corn, from an unknown tribe, Mother Corn, who was the first ear of corn to grow out of the sky, leads her people through many trials and tribulations to come to their lands, right? And to receive the gifts of medicine and magic. When they finally arrive at their final destination, she transforms into a cedar tree to be with them always. All right. So check that out, man. So according to native legend, man, there are deities that reside in the cedar that protects the people. Now, that's an interesting concept when you understand things like, going into the wilderness to be hidden from the face of the serpent. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna keep going. Cedar human souls can be contained with cedar, right? So this is gonna go into the Cherokee legend, man, that the brother Hiram Mark, shouts out to the big bro Hiram Mark, man, for bringing the legend of the cedar tree of the Cherokee people. You know what I'm saying? So go catch that, and right. So I'm gonna let y'all go catch that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna come down here to this one. It says cedar as a creation and transformation agent. In one Cherokee story, the Great Spirit took a pinch of cedar from his pocket and it turned into the animals. In several stories of the Pacific Northwest, cedar was carved into seals, a fish, and the carvings are transformed into real animals who are able to follow instructions of the one who carved them. So just think about us as being cedars of Lebanon, right? That incorruptible wood, right? Who are able to follow the instructions of the one who carved us. You feel what I'm saying? The Eskimo people also describe the extensive use of carved figures as totem poles to help illustrate the history of their people. Whether or not carvings in this kind of transformation was used with the eastern white cedar is not clear from the stories I've reviewed. So now understand that the cedar is a transformation agent, so you use it to transform things. Just leave that right there. Alright, so wanna come down here, man, because this is one of the more important ones I wanted to show the fam, right? Cedar connected to the element of fire and the sun. Okay, now think about Malachi chapter 4. But it says, it is no secret that cedar has a strong connection to fire. Oh, so it's no secret. You know what I'm saying? This is consistent between material and esoteric traditions and native lore. In a Tismishian legend walks all over the sky. The sky was dark until one of the sky chief's children made a mask out of cedar that was in the shape of a ring. He lit the mask on fire and then walked from east to west. When he slept after his journey each day, sparks flew from his mouth, and these were the stars. So in this way, cedar is connected to the sun itself. Alright. So we say that, you know what I'm saying, he did, this person, or this god, the sky chief, right? When his children made a mask out of cedar, and it was in the shape of a ring, and he lit it on fire. You know what I'm saying? And he walked from east to west. You know what I'm saying? And everything like that. So in this way, cedar is connected to the sun itself. Now think about that now. He lit the cedar on fire. Apparently the cedar ain't burning out. You feel what I'm saying? It's just remaining incorruptible and bearing that fire. You know what I'm saying? Bearing that heat, bearing that flame, to light the earth, to be a shining light for the earth. You know what I'm saying? So take that into perspective, man. I'm gonna tell you, dog, how real this is, man. And I want to shout out to the brother Paco. You know what I'm saying? The bro Paco had sent me some of the cedar oil. I had to get some of that, boy. Man, shouts out to the brother Paco for the cedar oil, man. Go get you some of that cedar oil. The brother site is coming soon. But I'm gonna tell you how real it is, man. One day, me and my mama, I told this to Paco last night, man. One day, me and my mama we was outside at some place, you know what I'm saying? I had whipped out the cedar oil and I showed it to my mama, you know what I'm saying? And she hadn't took some. And she put it in between, her thumb, that area right there between your thumb and your index finger and stuff like that. So she dabbed it right there, and then she rubbed it, down her forearm. And so we walked a little. I think we walked over to my car, and next thing I know, I just hear it go like, ah, you know what I'm saying? She was like, yo, like, Mama, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? She was like, what she say? She say, oh, she was like, oh, you can't wear this in the sun. I'm like, why you say that? She like, cause the sun is beaming real bad where I put that oil. I'm like, what? I'm like, is you serious? She like, what, that's good? I'm like, yeah, that's good. You know what I'm saying? So I just gave it a rundown you know, on cedar, you know, and cedars of Lebanon, you know, and leprosy and its connection with the melanin. But I just thought that was powerful because what she had put that cedar oil on, the sun was just like beaming, it was just concentrated at that spot. You know what I'm saying? So, man, just think about that, man. I'm telling you, it's crazy, dog. Like, I was taking that oil, you know how I go, man, because, you know, I'm from the South, so it's hot down here. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, like, bro, people don't even say what's up to you no more, niggas. Soon niggas see you, first thing he say is, boy, it's hot out here, cuz. You know what I'm saying? It's about 1,000 degrees out here, boy. You know what I'm saying? First thing come out their mouth. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really like, I know it's getting hot. You know, but at the same time, you know, that sound kind of parasitic. You know what I'm saying? That people don't want to do nothing because of the heat. You know what I'm saying? The sun and stuff like that. They want to stay in the house. Want to complain about it all day. But, you know, heat kills parasites. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it just sounds real parasitic to be a melanated person and you immobilized due to the heat. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do nothing due to the heat. Man, I was taking that cedar oil, you know, smearing it all over myself, and I would just walk around the hood, you know what I'm saying, and 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, midday in the heat, you know what I'm saying, when I was able to, man, just to, you know, because I did not want to develop that type of train of thought, you know what I'm saying, man, it's too hot, you know what I'm saying, but, you know, continuing on, cedar as cleansing, protective, and the great medicine, right? Okay, so yeah, man, cedar as a transformation agent. You know what I'm saying? So check this out, man. I'm going to try to leave this link in the description. I want to come over here to this other one. Because this other one, man, got some drop. Say, a truly remarkable story on cedar and its entire history. Okay, so let's go ahead and dig into this real quick. It say the cedar, grandeur in each crown. From time immemorial, people have spoken of trees of the world, right? Whose roots fasten the earth and are washed by the holy waters of the world beyond the grave, whose trunk is encircled by the snake, the symbol of the healing movement of energy, and whose crown extends into the cosmos, right? You know what I'm saying? Use prior knowledge. For the Sumerians, the oldest of the civilizations we presently know, this was the cedar, all right? The Earth Mother said to the Creator, the sparks of fire of your spirit can offer salvation. Y'all got to get this right here. Pay attention. You know, so I want y'all to really get that drop, man, because that's a powerful statement right here. I think what this person is saying with this Earth Mother, right? Is saying to the Creator. All right. So I guess the shaper is saying to the framer. The framer is saying to the shaper. You know what I'm saying? However you want to look at it. It says, these sparks of fire, right, from the sun, or these sparks of fire of your spirit, you know what I'm saying, can offer salvation. He said, but who will be the one to collect them and keep them safe until needed? The Creator answered, these trees and the grass will preserve my sparks. But when the sparks fall, let the cedar and his sisters preserve their receivers for fire for the entire year. What? So you telling me the sparks of salvation are preserved in this tree? And that don't even surprise me. You know what I'm saying? Boy, with all this stuff we've been able to build just with these trees. I mean, come on, man. So I'm gonna jump down here and say a mysterious history. Say, cedar was considered to be the holy tree of life amongst the ancient civilizations, right? Right? The Thuja, I think that's it. Let me see if we can get it. Let me see. Okay, right here. Eastern white cedar is a tree native to much of Central and Eastern North America, although it has much been broadly introduced, often under the name arbor vitae, right? Tree of life. Okay, so it says, among the most ancient civilizations, the Sumerians, a mysterious civilization now lost to the ages that gave life to the entire modern world. The bearers of the secret and sacred knowledge of Sumer believed that the cedar, a symbol of power, greatness, immortality, right, was created by God as the storage chest of the energy of the cosmos. Look at that. Come on now. So, ask yourself, is the Ark of the Covenant made out of acacia or cedar? You know what I'm saying? Because what that Ark of the Covenant, dog, was like a generator. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't even touch that joker if you wasn't for the right tribe. That joker was zap the life out you. You know what I'm saying? So, and then wherever it was carried with the tribe, where it was almost completely invincible. But check that out though. It say the earlier civilization, you know what I'm saying, thought that this tree, this cedar was created by God as the storage chest of energy, of the energy of the cosmos, right? The sparks of fire of the spirit of the Most High, right, can offer salvation, right? And they're contained in this tree. So and for that reason, it was given the holy right to have its own names depending to its own place of growth and its purpose, religious, medicinal, for construction, and even as a standard and a measure of exchange much more valuable than gold. Dang, boy, don't that sound like us? Boy, that sound like us being cedar, right? Right, if we are cedar, check it out. It says, for that reason, it was given the holy right. So if you're incorruptible, right, morally pure, I'm saying, morally pure children of Adam, autochthonous, you know what I'm saying? It say, and for that right, it was given the holy right. And for that reason, it was given the holy right, right? The ecclesiastical right, right? Holy, consecrated, right? Ecclesiastical. Okay, so it was given the holy or ecclesiastical right to have his own name, depending on his own place of growth. You feel me? His own purpose of religious and medicinal for construction, and even as a standard, a measure of exchange, much more valuable than gold. You know what I'm saying? So continuing on to say, all this is confirmed by clay tablets 7,000 years old found in archaeological excavations of the ancient kingdom of Sumer. Okay. The head of the Sumer pantheon, the god Ea, who symbolized cleansing water, was considered to be the patron of the cedar. Got to be more careful. So you telling me that the god of cleansing water, baptizing water, is also the patron of? Okay, makes sense. Ea was the source of unattainable, hidden wisdom and secret knowledge that he could grant to a worthy person. And the most important thing, he also gave to the people was life. So, right, which is why the tree that he's a patron of is called the tree of life. All precious metals belong to him. He was considered to be the patron of blacksmiths, trades, culture, arts, and science. The cedar is much the same together with Ea. It personifies beauty. Water in the conception of the Sumerians was something majestically beautiful. Stability and morality. Some ancient cedars reach an age of 2,000 years old. Wow, right? That's really incorruptible. Health, that is life, right? Strength, prosperity, a development of culture. Check this out. The development of culture, arts, and science, right, was represented by this tree. So the development of these things, right, we're going to come back and touch on it. It's a divine pride and grandeur. Demand for the cedar in the ancient world was so great that most ancient epic of Gilgamesh mentions a monster who protected a cedar grove from incursions by outsiders. The tradition of divine cedar of Sumer was subsequently assimilated by other nations as well. The wooden details of the sarcophagus of the Egyptian pharaoh Tutankhamun, as well as numerous religious articles from his tomb, were made of cedar. And although the age of these finds exact 3,000 years, they were in remarkably wonderful condition. So the cedar definitely represents incorruptibility. Not only has the structure of the wood been preserved, but also its subtle tendon odor. Wow. And subtle tender odor. In ancient Egypt, cedar resin was one of the main components of the balsams used for mummification. Thanks to cedar essential oil, priceless papyrus of the Egyptians have been preserved to this day, and as well the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Phoenicians built galleys of cedar. Cedar was in great demand amongst the Assyrians as well. A fleet of cedar was built by the legendary biblical King Solomon. Man, King Solomon was cedar everything. You know how they say gold everything, all gold everything. King Solomon was all cedar everything. Straight like that, and that's probably why he was one of the wisest kings on the earth. I don't know, but they say who constructed also entirely from cedar the temple at Jerusalem and his enormous imperial court, giving away 20 cities in exchange for this precious material. Right, it was all built out of cedar, entirely from cedar. Jerusalem, it's a gopher wood, right? Shouts out to the bro Natural by Law. Go get it. Gopher wood from which Noah built his ark was a cedar that grows on the Bahrain Island. No, it ain't. That joke go right here in the south. I went to the park, the Terrell State Park, man. I went there and I seen them cedars, man. You know what I'm saying? And they tell you at the park that these trees was cut down like a lot and used to make ships, and some of the oldest ships that still like operating, like they still have the oldest wooden ships made out of this wood. So the wood that's there in the south that they call the Terrea texifolia, the way they say is the gopher wood, is definitely ship material. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know about this right here, what they're talking about in Bahrain, but like my bro said, Noah the Atokchan, the Floridian with locks. So, and then an indispensable component for the coronation or the coronation of the kings of the ancient Iranian kingdom, Khorasan, was a cup of cedar resin. Okay. Among the Druids, the mysterious forest priests of the Celts, a cup of cedar resin was called the cup of life. All right. The most important and influential Greek and Roman gods, as well as ancestors, were immortalized in busts made precisely of cedars, and Roman emperors, in an effort to preserve cedar groves for their own most august needs, placed signs in these locations, which the inscription, property of the descendant people of Rome. In modern Lebanon, the cedar majestically adorns the state flag. So check that out, man. These people was using cedar to you know what I'm saying, for all kind of things, for idols, for groves, for things that they wanted to last a long time. So then they gonna give you these scripts, and they gonna translate the incorruptible shittim wood as acacia. Now the article telling us straight up that hidden wisdom, secrets, and knowledge is hidden in this tree. So that's probably why they don't want you digging on this tree. They want you to think that the shittim and the incorruptible wood is the acacia, things like that, man, because the cedar brings a lot of things into perspective, right? It helps you see the connection between the American Indians and the biblical Israelites. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, but it also provides what? Identity, right? The development of culture, arts, and science. All right, so let's keep going, because we're going to get into this right here, man, because this is powerful, man. This is some good drop right here. It says, amazingly present. Trees may just be called special reservoirs of energy, right? Trees may justly be called special reservoirs of energy. The result of photosynthesis in the green portions of plants is the formation of carbohydrates, rich in energy, and the release of oxygen. All right, so plants trap the energy of the sun and cosmos, transform it, and thereby provide life on the planet. Okay, modern biologists have confirmed the ancient idea that cedar has a soul. Okay, the cedar has a soul. This amazing tree has the same biological rhythms as people. Wow. The cedar displays its activity not at precisely defined times as do other trees, but depending on external circumstances. So, for example, in overcast days in the summer, it wakes up at 10 o'clock in the morning. While on the bright days, it awakens with the dawn. There is a pause in its activity from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. Okay, so in the evening, the cedar is active until 11 p.m. and then falls asleep for the night. In the winter, its life cycles are not suspended. As with other trees, it remains awake but only sleeps much longer. Okay, so man, that tree is very much alive. You know what I'm saying? But check this out right here, the medicinal properties of cedar, man. This right here is crazy. Says the curative properties of cedar have been known to the curative properties of cedar have been known to medicine from the earliest times. Even Sumerians used extracts both of cedar needles as compresses and poultices. I don't know. Modern scientific medicine, just as many more ancient teachings regarding health, Eastern Tibetan verdict confirmed the great medicinal properties of the cedar. Literally everything in it, from the green needles to the piece of bark, is of benefit to people and the entire environment. Berries and all plants grown in cedar forests are richer in vitamins and provitamins than those growing in other forests. This can be explained by the fact that the bactericides and fungicides of the cedar actively contribute to the formation in plants and fruits of vitamins and other biologically active substances. All right. Bactericides and fungicides have a beneficial effect on people as well, first and foremost on the nervous and the cardiovascular system and the respiratory organ. Now we know that the cedar deals with the respiratory system a lot. It's very associated with the respiratory system. Now that's important because we know the Most High is what? He's the breath, right? His name encompasses the breath, the spirit, the ruach. So the bacterial and fungicidal properties of the cedar are amazing. Check this out. The air in a cedar forest is practically free of pathogenic microbes. Over a 24-hour period, a hectare of these coniferous giants emit more than 30 kilograms of airborne organic substances which have an immense bacterial strength. Huh? In the opinion of researchers, this quantity of bactericides and fungicides is sufficient to render all pathogenic microbes in a large city harmless. Dog, did you hear that? It say, in the opinion of researchers, this quantity, right, this amount of bactericides and fungicides is sufficient to render all pathogenic microbes in a large city harmless. Dang, that's crazy. Shut them down. Harmless. You feel me? That's what the cedar tree can emit. They say in the interaction of the cedar's bactericides and fungicides with the ozone, O3, the ozone molecules are activated and their energy increases threefold in comparison with normal molecules of oxygen. Thus, ozonides, O3, which possess great bacterial and medicinal properties, are continually formed in the air of cedar forests. In addition, the cedar's bactericides and fungicides increase the air's content of light negative ions, exerting a regulating influence on living cells and tissues, making harmonious connections with all processes occurring both in the human organism as a whole as well as each individual cell. Dog, this cedar tree is kicking out light negative ions and cellular information. Like I said, remember that? Dog, remember I was telling you, I said, remember the movie The Happening? When trees was emitting stuff and you know what I'm saying? When trees was emitting stuff and it was making people go crazy and kill themselves. Look, dog, this cedar will emit something that will elevate your consciousness. You know what I'm saying? That will clean you. Right? That will do all those things. Remember from let me see, hold on. Remember when we go back to Isaiah 35, where it say that the wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them that come back to it. It say in the desert shall rejoice and blossom as a rose. So, you know what I'm saying? Understand that. Like I say, you know what I'm saying? It say, and it shall blossom abundantly and rejoice with joy and singing. So the trees are rejoicing and singing for the nation that comes back to join themselves to the Creator in the wilderness. right? You know what I'm saying? So you can see, you know what I'm saying, that when them trees go to singing, ain't no telling what's that's talking about. That the trees could be emitting, right? If they singing, something is they projecting. You know what I'm saying? Something is coming up out of them. You know what I'm saying? So man, you might need to get your behind around them cedar trees for real. So we're gonna keep building. It says what was we at? Okay, so man, I got to read that sentence again. It says, in addition, the cedar's bactericides and fungicides increase the air's content of light negative ions, exerting a regulating influence on living cells and tissues, and making harmonious connections with all processes occurring in human organisms as a whole, as well as each individual cell. All right, even among ancient medicinal practices, Eastern Tibetan verdict natural Siberian cedar essential oil was known as an effective remedy in bronchitis and infections of the urogenital system. In modern aromatherapy, natural cedar essential oil is also used in infectious diseases of respiratory tract, right, and has a successful anti-inflammatory, alleviating an expectorant effect on the respiratory organs. Okay, it eliminates bronchospasms, including asthmatic bronchospasms, eliminating coughing fits, reduces edema of the mucus nasal pharynx. It is a powerful substance for strengthening immunity. So man, but check that out though. The cedar helps you breathe better, it helps your respiratory system. So what is that telling you? The cedar helps the spirit come in. You feel what I'm saying? Helps you commune better with the spirit, with the breath, with Hawa. You know what I'm saying? They say, let's see. For a cold, it is used effectively in mixtures for masses of massages, baths, and inhalations, right? Because of its great bacterial properties with respect to microorganisms, fungi, and viruses. Natural cedar tree essential oil is widely and successfully used in infectious inflammatory diseases with bladder and uterus, and also in treatment of gynecological diseases. Natural cedar tree essential oil is an excellent substance for maintaining tonicity of the vessels and strengthening their walls. It increases blood exchange and has stimulating effects on the cardiovascular system as a whole, especially in physical loads. It improves conductivity processes in myocardium, eliminates functional disturbances in cardiac rhythm. It is helpful in disorders such as varicose veins, cowpertis, and hemorrhoids, I guess. In dentistry, the cedar essential oil is used effectively on toothpaste, parodontosis, and other diseases of oral cavity. And rheumatism, osteochondrosis, and arthritis, it eliminates pain and inflammation of the joints. It is successfully used in neuralgia and muscle strains. The warm, woody, resinous aroma of the cedar tree increases the adaptational capabilities of the changes in the environment. It is okay. So the warm, woody, resinous aroma of the cedar tree increases the adaptational capabilities of people to changes in the environment. I knew I wasn't reading that right. Woo! Boy, check that out. So it say the warm, woody, resinous aroma of the cedar tree increases the adaptational capabilities of people to changes in the environment, i.e. heat, right? When in Malachi 4, when that sun burned as an oven, right? But to the righteous, the son of righteousness will have healing in his wings. You feel what I'm saying? What the sparks of the fire of your spirit can offer salvation. Alright, so it is recommended to inhale the aroma of cedar in cases of weather affected disorders. So yeah, man, you got to get that melanin charged up, man. That cedar charges that melanin, man. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can catch the rest of this. I'm gonna try to leave this in the description as well. I'm gonna come back, but I'm gonna touch on this though. But first, I wanna before I touch on that, I wanna come back. You know what I'm saying, to right here where it was talking about that cedar. Let me see. Cedar was also it personified the concepts of the development of culture, right? The arts and the science, right? John is in the wilderness baptizing people, bringing them back to the Most High. So he's reestablishing the nation, right? In an ecclesiastical right. So when we talk about birth of a nation, right? Especially a natural nation, you know what I'm saying? A nation under natural law, that was created in nature. When we digging on nature, we see it's dealing with restorative powers of the body, right? Restore, all right? Restorative powers of the body, bodily processes, powers of growth, right? Nature being principle of life, character, essence, right? From natural course of things, natural character, right? Natural character, which is that human nature, right? Remember, digging on natural law, like my brother showed, it tells you what? Let me see if I can get it. Alright, so it say natural law is a philosophy asserting that certain rights are inherited by virtue of human nature, endowed by nature, traditionally the Most High, right? Or the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So understand right here that the rights of natural law are inherited, right? Are inherent by virtue of human nature. So when you dig on human nature, you know what human nature is. But what's interesting is what they say about human nature down here. Let me see if I can get it. Right, created human nature. It says, as originally created, the Bible describes two elements in human nature, right? The body and the breath or spirit of life breathed into it by God. By this was created a living soul, that is, a living person, according to Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. The living person was made in the image of God, right? From the biblical perspective, to be human is to bear the image of God, right? So to be, especially to be an original descendant of Adam, you was given the breath, the spirit, right? Which is the human nature in which God created you to operate. So with that being said, you having the spirit and breath breathed into you as Adam, then you have these rights, right? These rights are inherited by the virtue of human nature, right? The spirit and the breath. To understand that nature, right, that natural character, that human nature comes from the spirit, the breath that animates you, that, you know what I'm saying, that life in which operates your, you know what I'm saying, your being. So now check this out. Now constitution, right? Nature also deals with constitution. Quality, the universe, literally birth, from natives born, right? To be born. Okay, so the root of the word nature is from natives, meaning birth, to be born, right? To give birth, beget, right? Also, check this out, creation of the universe, also hereditary, right? Being passed down, birth, hereditary circumstances, hereditary circumstances, essential qualities, innate disposition. All right, so understand that nature, right, is also dealing with birth, right? Something being born. All right, so when we come over here and we look at nation, we see that nation, circa 1300 from Old French nation, is dealing with birth, right? Rank, descendants, relatives, country, homeland, right? From natio, birth. It also means birth. Original, breed, stock, kind, species, race of people, right? Tribe, shouts out to the tribe. Literally that which has been born. Okay, so literally that which has been born, right? Be born. So we see that nation, right? Nation and nature are dealing with these concepts of birth, right? Being born, right? As you see in nation, is dealing with being born, right? To give birth, beget, right? Things like that, birth, right? So when you go to birth, birth is dealing with the fact of being born, right? Act of giving birth, or bringing forth by mother childbirth, you know what I'm saying? Let's see, process, condition in which a person is born, lineage, and descent. Okay, so now what's interesting about that, and like I say, how we being the Cedars of Lebanon, which gives us this morally pure autochthonous status, an identity, right? So that we can form ourselves and be the children of God like we are supposed to be, right? In these times of wilderness. What's interesting about the cedar is when you look up the cedar, you get cedar, right? Kedros, ked, cedar, juniper. All right. Now, what's interesting about this cedar? Hold on, before I go into that. All right, ked, right, from cedar, cedar to yield, to give place, to give up some right or property, right? This ked, the prefix of the word cedar is dealing with ked, which means to go, to yield, right? All right, check this out. Sanskrit, right? To drive away, to drive, chase away, because we know what? We know them cedars put the serpent to flight, right? But it also is also dealing with turn aside, step aside, cedar, to yield, give place, to give up some right or property, or to go from, proceed, leave, a walking, right? Going, to go, right? So cedar is dealing with to go, right? And especially, which is especially relevant when we're talking about Exodus, wilderness, and cedar. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so as it said, the prefix ked, also, one of the definitions was to yield, right? So now when you come over to yield, it says payment, sum of money, service, offering, worship, all right, production as of crops, okay? All right, to pay for, reward, render, worship, service, sacrifice to, right? Now, understand that's very corresponding with the term atonement, right? Especially dealing, with the cedar. So the root of the word means to yield, which has a similar, definition and understanding to atonement. But also we know, like I said, it meant to leave, right? And it's a transformation age. So you're leaving one thing and, you're being birthed into something else. All right, so we come back over here to cedar. We see, right, kedrus. Right, we touched on the first part, ked. We're going to get on this part, right, this rust and this roast a little later. All right, but we see right here cedar, juniper, right, origin uncertain. So let's deal on this juniper. Now, juniper, right, is a coniferous evergreen shrub of northern regions, right, of northern regions, right, the land of the north. Okay, later altered to conform Latin, right, Auniparis, right, the juniper tree. Okay, word of a certain word. All right, perhaps it is related to Unico reed, right? Check that out. But there are phonetic difficulties. So Watkins has it from pi root. Check this out. Yoni parus, bearing juniper berries, right? From ni, juniper berry. All right. Perhaps from a non-IE language, paro, producing, right? To produce. Procure. Alright, so check that out, man. So the etymology and the ancient pronunciation of juniper really comes from this root right here, yoni, yoni, in which we know what that is, right? Yoni from Sanskrit, female sexual principle as an object of veneration, right? See they venerating. We were just talking about what it is. They already talking about veneration, because we know that they was doing what? They was in Baal Peor worship and you know what I'm saying, with these mother sons and these my sons. But check this out though. Literally, vulva, womb, right? Sanskrit, yoni, womb, vulva. So the word juniper, right, which is another word for the cedar tree, the name literally possesses, the womb, you know what I'm saying, where things are produced at, you know what I'm saying, where, let's see if I can get it, right, where birth occurs, meaning to give birth, right, the fact of being born, right, conception, let me see, Nation, right? Being born, right? Give birth, begat. You see what I'm saying? Nature, right? To be born, literally birth, essence, universe, literally hereditary birth. You know what I'm saying? Hereditary circumstances, yeah. So understand, man, when you're dealing with these cedars, right, this juniper, you're dealing with, you know what I'm saying, you're dealing with the yoni, you're dealing with the womb, you're dealing with, right, cedar, right, meaning ked, to go, to leave away, right, juniper dealing with the womb, the yoni, which is the matrix. You see what I'm saying? The matrix. Now you leave in the matrix to establish, right, the producing, right, of another nation. You know what I'm saying? These cedars of Lebanon. So that brings me back to this article right here, and I want to read this last paragraph. It says, still more about the cedar, the unknown. So L.A. Shkekenikov, a well-known physician and professor, while striving to grasp the secret of longevity and healing persons from diseases, turned to the Bible. So attempting to understand first and foremost the meaning of the letters inscribed therein, his conjectures about the method of regenerating a living cell encoded in the Bible were confirmed and later developed into a discovery. So based on the word post, the Russian word for fasting, the Russian word for fasting, the professor compiled an alphabet of self-knowledge, deciphering this word as continuing the movement of the birth force. Bam! According to the interpreter proposed by the professor, cedar is the root of new marvel of birth. Right? The birth of what? The birth of a natural nation. Yeah, man. So now, you know what I'm saying, with all that being said, and we see that the cedar, you know, is really dealing with the birth and the reestablishment of a nation, right? And things of that nature. Like you got your boy John going out into the wilderness to bring the people back into, you know what I'm saying, the bond of the covenant and things like that. Now understand, like, you know, we was talking about in the last video, and like many people have stated, man, we are in the time of the wilderness, right? Now we can say we are in the time of the wilderness, and I know one thing, we are in the place of the wilderness as well, right? Because the wilderness dealing with Lebanon, right, a place of these cedars, which is in the North Country, and we know that we are in North America, right? We are held in the wilderness in bondage of North America, you know, so which is most definitely a land of cedars, right? So check this out. This is from the 16th century North America, the land and the people as seen by the colonists or explorers, I assume. Let me see. Oh, okay, no, that's what I typed in. Alright, so check this out right here. Say the land very sandy and low towards the waterside, but so full of grapes as the very beating and surge of the sea overflowed them. Grapes climbing towards the drop of high cedars, right? Climbing towards the drop of high cedars that I think in all the world like the that I think in all the world like abundance not to be found. So check out what he's saying. He's saying, right, this place of North America, right, has these high cedars that he thinks in the world like abundance is not to be found. So nowhere in abundance is these cedars to be found like they are in North America. You feel what I'm saying? He jumped down. He said, this land has many goodly woods, right? The highest and reddest cedars of the world. Also pine, cypress, saffron, and other trees. Now check that out. So he said that this land is full of these trees, right? The pine, cypress, and these other trees and these cedars, right? Now, but we know, going to Isaiah chapter 41, verse 19, the Most High tell us what? He said, I will plant in the wilderness the cedar tree, right? The cedar, the shitta tree, right? That incorruptible wood. He said, and the myrtle and the oil. He said, and I will set in the desert the fir tree, right? The pine and the box tree together. Either going to the Britain, come over, you say, what? I will plant in the dry land the cedar, the box, the myrtle, the cypress, in the white poplars. So we see these trees, right, that they saying are in the land of North America are also the trees that are in the land of the wilderness. So essentially we are in the wilderness, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, if we are in the wilderness, if we are already in the wilderness amongst the cedars, we just must separate within the wilderness. You see what I'm saying? Separate ourselves in the wilderness. Because I know we got a lot of people, you know, who's dealing with this flea this flea doctrine. Should we flee? Should we go? Hey, you know what I'm saying? Go wherever. But I'm gonna tell you, there's nowhere you can go, you know, where you won't see destruction. It's going down everywhere. The protection comes from the lawful establishment, you know, the community being joined with the Father. That's where the protection of the community in the wilderness comes from. So wherever you at, make sure you're in a lawful establishment, you know, bonded to that law, to that covenant, because that's where the protection gonna come at, and we're gonna explain that, you know, further into this video. But I just want to say, you know, a lot of people, you know, say we need to leave Babylon and, you know, this and that, which is, you know, definitely do. But we know we need to mobilize as a community. And since we are in the wilderness, we know that all we have to do now is simply separate. So let's keep digging. So now we're talking about John, right? We're talking about these priests who went into the wilderness. Now we know these are priests, right, from the tribe of Levi, right? And the Levites, they dwell in their Levitical cities. Now go and catch the brother Natural by Laws channel. He has a 3-part series, 3 parts so far on the Levitical cities, and he's showing you these cities in the Americas. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm not going to touch on them too much. I just want to touch on them briefly to bring up a few points, but go catch the man drop, you know what I'm saying, and go catch them Levitical cities. But what I want to do is, you know, come over here and touch on something real brief. Hold on 1 second, fam. All right, sorry about that, fam. So go handle something real quick. So we over here at the Levitical cities, right? Like I said, my brother Natural by Law been breaking them down, showing you, you know what I'm saying, the structures, you know what I'm saying, the designs, the locations, and all that. So now one thing about these Levitical cities, we know that some of these cities are cities of refuge, right? To which a manslayer could flee. All right, so let's touch on this cities of refuge real quick. All right, so right, cities of refuge, not to be confused with sanctuary city, but sanctuary is an important concept, right? In dealing with the cities of refuge, because essentially cities of refuge are sanctuaries. You know what I'm saying? Like right here, you see fleeing to the city of refuge. Now it says cities of refuge were 6 Levitical towns in the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah, to which, in which the perpetrators of manslaughter could claim the right of asylum. All right, so I just want to touch on that right quick. Right, dealing with the cities of refuge, and the right of asylum. But before I want to get into some etymology. All right, so real quick, get some etymology on the word refuge, right? As a noun, it is shelter or protection from danger or distress. Look at this. Hiding place. A taking refuge. Place to flee back to. Back. Fugger. To flee. So think about this now. Everybody's, you know, wondering where to flee to and things of this nature. But we see these Levites was dealing with cities of refuge who can provide the right of asylum. Now, John is a priest, right, a Levite, and he separated himself into the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? Now, this makes you think of Revelations chapter 12, right? When we know what the woman, right, and the woman being the children of Israel, she fled into the wilderness, right? Where she have a place prepared of God. So there's a place that prepared of the Most High. You see what I'm saying? That they should feed her there 1,203 days. Okay, let's check that out. So now there is a war in heaven, right? Archangel Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels, right? So check that out in sequence, because we're gonna get on that later. But But right here in verse 14 it say, and the woman were given two great wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, right, into her place, right, that place of solitary, where she would be nourished for a times and half a times from the face of the serpent. So this place that this woman fled to in the wilderness would essentially do what? It essentially gave her refuge, right? Shelter or protection from danger or distress, right? A hiding place, right? A place you flee back to, right? Because, the wilderness is not no foreign concept to us. We were birthed in the wilderness, right? To flee, right? Place for. So no wonder, the 10 northern tribes of Israel, when they left Assyrian captivity, like they had planned to do, they did what? They fled back to that place of refuge in the wilderness that they were, that we call Assyria, right? The Cedar land, which is Lebanon. All right, so I want to touch on this right of asylum real quick, right? Called the right of political asylum. Now let me see if it gives you the different types of asylums real quick before I get into that. All right, so I don't know where I had seen that, but when you understand political asylum, it's dealing with race, religion, all those political things. You know what I'm saying? So so the right of asylum is also called the right of political asylum. Is an ancient juridical concept under which a person is persecuted by their own country, right, may be protected by another sovereign authority, okay, such as another country or church official, all right, who in medieval times could offer sanctuary. See what I'm saying? All right, so now understand that. So these Levitical cities of refuge, right, gave people the right of asylum. Now, the right of asylum is a juridical concept under which a person is being persecuted by their own country may be protected by another sovereign authority, such as a country or a church official, right, who could offer sanctuary. Now, that's interesting that they say so. The right of asylum can be issued by a sovereign authority, right? So now, when we click on sovereign authority, it takes us to sovereignty, right? So let's dig on them words real quick. So when you go to sovereign, right, it gives you superior, ruler, master, right? Sovereign, Lord, ruler, highest, supreme, chief, right? As an adjective, great, superior, supreme, right? Highest, supreme, chief. So mainly particularly dealing with supreme, right? Supreme, superior, right? Sovereign, Lord. Okay, so now authority, when you go to authority, the etymology on authority is this: an authoritative passage or statement, book or quotation that settles an argument. Passage from scripture. Look at that. That's the literal definition of authority, dog. A passage from scripture. Authority, prestige, right, permission, dignity, gravity. The scriptures. You feel me? From circa 1300 in general sense. Legal validity. Also authoritative book. Authoritative doctrine. Okay, opposed to reason and experience. So the word authority literally means an authoritative book, right? The scriptures, the Holy Bible. So that brings me right to consider the public law 97-280 that my brother Jerusalem dropped on me, right? Where the Congress of the United States of America declared the Bible as the word of God. So as the first couple sentences read, authorizing and requesting the president to proclaim 1983 as the year of the Bible. Whereas the Bible, the word of God, has made a unique contribution in shaping the United States as a distinctive and blessed nation of people, right? Okay. So we got this. Before y'all catch this, pause it and read it real quick if you need to, because I don't want to read the whole thing. But like it says right here, President Jackson stated that the Bible is the rock on which our republic rests. All right, the rock, right? that their house is built upon. So now understanding this, that the Congress of the United States have came out and declared the Bible as the Word of God. Okay, so you come over here to, etymology just to get some, some proof. We see the first thing we get is what? Supreme being, a deity. Okay, so God is the supreme being or deity. So now, when you get the etymology on word, we know word is speech, talk, utterance, sentence, statement, right? So statement. So Congress has said that the Bible, they declared the Bible as the Word of God, right? The statement of the supreme being. So if they tell us that the right of asylum is issued by a sovereign authority, which is the supreme, or a great superior supreme scripture, right? Passage or statement from the book, right? The scriptures. We know what? We know that our sovereign authority is the scriptures. It's the Holy Bible, right? And Congress has declared that the sovereign authority, the Word of God. You feel what I'm saying? So when the Bible say, hey, when my people come back unto me, lead them the heck alone. You got to, you got to obey. And if you don't, you are in ecclesiastical dishonor. You see what I'm saying? But just touching on that, because we got to understand one thing. They say that the right of asylum is issued by a sovereign authority, right? So we know that our sovereign authority is the Holy Bible, which Congress has declared as the Word of God, which is the sovereign authority. You know what I'm saying? So when we see that, so refuge, right, a place where people flee to, can be offered, right, by this establishment, either this sovereign authority that's based upon either this country or a church official. You see what I'm saying? That could offer sanctuary. Now, when you put that into perspective with John going into the wilderness to baptize the people, and bring them back, right, unto the Father, bring the nation of people back into the Father, cleanse them, making them white and clean, we know that he is offering asylum, right, for his people. You know what I'm saying? That was, that what? Under which a person's persecuted by their own country may be protected by a sovereign authority. So, upon us separating and establishing communities, we have to provide the right of asylum for our people. You see what I'm saying? For those who are considered black, because we got to be the ones to proclaim liberty, to say that we exist as indigenous Autochthons. Not only that we exist as indigenous Autochthons, but we are morally pure Autochthons. We have sovereign authority given to us by what? The Holy Scriptures. You see what I'm saying? So we have to, what? Offer the right of asylum, right? Refuge. We have to do what John was doing. John was over there, what? Let's see if we can get it. Okay, we see John is providing a sanctuary, a city of refuge, shelter from protection, danger, or distress, a hiding place, right? A taking refuge, place to flee back to. So John is in the wilderness doing this. So we know what? In Revelation 12, it said the woman fled into the wilderness, right? So the woman fled into the wilderness. She was the woman was given 2 great wings of an eagle that she might fly into the wilderness, right? Into her place, into her city of refuge, where she is what? Right? This hiding place, the place where she fled to, where she is hidden what? From the face of the serpent. You feel what I'm saying? Okay, so when you put all that into perspective again, man, we have to, we may have to be the ones, man, who separate ourselves, right? Set up this community, right? Based, established in sovereign authority of, of the scriptures, right? So that we can provide asylum for our people, right? Who are being persecuted by the serpent in their own country. You see what I'm saying? Because they are classified as a foreigner, as an immigrant. You know what I'm saying? So we have to clean them, make them white and pure, right? You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get into this a little bit more, but, just put all that in perspective. We're going to keep on moving. Okay, so coming back to this, because it's very important, right? What these folks was trying to say. So, Congress declared the Bible as the Word of God. Now, check it out what they say right here. They say, whereas the Bible, right? The word of God, the sovereign authority, has made a unique contribution in shaping the United States as a distinctive and blessed nation of people. So the Bible has basically given them identity. But look at the word they use. They use shaping. Okay, so this was it was very interesting the way they worded it. Because I remember when the brother Natural by Law was breaking down natural law, he was reading this section down here, right, on American jurisprudence. And check out what it say. He said, the U.S. Declaration of Independence states that it has become necessary for the people of the United States to assume the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature gods entitle them. Okay, so check that out, right? They must assume that. Now, I tell you what they say. It says some early American lawyers and judges perceive, right, the lawyers and judges, right, the people who are, orchestrating this law and judging and, people based upon it. It says some early American lawyers and judges perceive natural law as too tenuous, amorphous, and evanescent a legal basis for grounding concrete rights and governmental limitations. Okay, so they now, you know what I'm saying, like the brother Natural by Law did, he showed you what these words mean. And so they saying that now natural law is perceived as too tenuous, amorphous, evanescent, a legal basis for grounding concrete rights and government limitations. So, let's get some of the words. All right, so the tenuous, right? Thin, unsubstantial. Thin, drawn out, meager, slim. All right. Poor, low in rank. All right, so it's poor, it's too poor, low in rank, right? Let's catch some of these other words, right? Evanescent, on the point of becoming imperceptible. Okay, so they saying that the natural law is too thin and poor, low in rank, and on the point of becoming imperceptible, and right here, look, disappear, vanish, pass away, be forgotten, be wasted. All right, so like I say, this is what they're saying about your natural law, right? Empty and void. It's empty and void. So they basically saying that natural law is too empty and void to what? How did they say it? It's too empty, void, a legal basis for grounding concrete rights and government limitations, right? All right. So the other word they use was this amorphous. Now amorphous means shapeless, having no determined form, right? Without form, shapeless, deformed, right? Without. So, like the brother was showing, right? And like he said, the brother Natural by Law said in Genesis, when the Most High was showing you, when he say, when the earth was null and void, right? When it was null and void, it was what? It was empty. It was void. It was without form, without shape. It was shapeless. It was amorphous. But when he created nature, right? When he birthed nature, right, in that natural design, that's what gave it the shape and form, because with that design comes the law of it. You feel what I'm saying? So what they basically saying is that natural law is too shapeless, empty, and void to be a legal grounding for concrete rights and government limitations, right? But then they turn around and say what? That the Bible, right, that's the word of God, has made a unique contribution in shaping, right, providing shape and form to the United States as a distinctive people and blessed nation. So natural law is null and void and is to be forgotten. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a good system of laws and morals for concrete grounding and government limitations. But when we attach our paganism to that natural law, then it becomes, the sovereign authority in which shapes our country as a distinctive and blessed nation and people. All right, so I wanted to come over here to Revelation chapter 19, man, and get these scriptures about the rider on a white horse. Now I want to give a shout out to my brother Winifred Holcomb, because he helped put this into perspective, because he sent me some information on it one time, and it was really eye opening. And so as you know, digging along with this wave, you know what I'm saying, that I've been on, it really kind of fitted into place, right? Especially with the Assyrian documents, right? The Dead Sea Scrolls. So now let's read this, right? It's the rider on a white horse, Okay, so say Revelations 19:11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, right? And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, okay? And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. All right. So it say his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. Right. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of God. Right. So look at that. So he essentially is the sovereign authority. Right. All right. So pay attention. All the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, okay, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. Okay, so understand, Lebanon, you know what I'm saying, white and clean, right? So and they say, out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it, all right, look what's in sword, right? You know, the word is in sword, you know what I'm saying? And it comes out of his mouth, right? That with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of fierceness and the wrath of the Almighty. And he hath on his vesture a name, and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, right? So now understand something. This rider on the right horse, right, who is called Faithful and True, he is on this white horse, and not only is he on this white horse, but the armies which were in heaven followed him, who sat upon the white horses, and they was on white horses too, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. All right. So like I say right here, right, his eyes were a flame of fire, right? He was clothed, he was clothed in a vesture dipped in blood, right? And his name was called the Word of God, aka what? The sovereign authority, right? So now we know that, right, like the brother Winifred Holcomb was saying, you know what I'm saying, this is precept with Genesis 49, when we was getting the blessings of the tribes. Right? And so when we understand Judah, he say, Judah what? Judah, thou art whom? It say, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be at the neck of thine enemies, right? Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art going up. He stooped down, he crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall arouse him up. All right, so check this out. Say, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, right? Nor a lawgiver from between his feet, or, nor a priest from amongst his council, right? Until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be, binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass's coat unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes dipped in the blood of grapes, right? And his eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. So we see, right, the same reference from Revelation chapter 19, right here in Genesis chapter 49 in this where we talk about the blessings of Judah, right? But it tells you that this character Shiloh, right, where it has this Shiloh into it, say, unto Shiloh come. Now many people reference this to be Jesus Christ as this person right here, and he who sits upon the white horse. But when you look at certain other translations, things get a little different, man. And I want to come right here. Like I say, shouts out to the bro Higher Mark. I picked this up from his video, and cause it's crazy, cause I was gonna talk about this, and then when I seen the way it was worded in this verse, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So now Shiloh can be translated to you know what I'm saying, sent, like Shiloh, Shalak, sent, or even a peace, you know what I'm saying? But mainly sent. So he is sent, or whoever, you know, is in ownership of this possession, you know what I'm saying? The gathering of the people shall be unto him. But check out what this verse say. It say, Judah, your brothers shall praise you, your hand shall be at the neck of your enemies, your father's sons shall bow down to you. Judah is a lion cub. From the prey, my son, you have gone up. He stooped down, he crouched as a lion and as a lioness, who dare rouse him, The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet. Check this out. Until tribute comes to him. Speaking of Judah, right? Until tribute comes to him, and to him shall the obedience of the peoples, right? And to him shall be the obedience of the people. We know Judah is the house of kings, right? That's the executive branch of government. The executive branch of government enforces the law given by the legislative branch, the priest. That's why I said the lawgiver should not depart from between his feet, right? The priest from amongst his council. It say until tribute comes to him, right? Till he sits back on that throne, and to him he's going to enforce that law, and to him shall the obedience of the people, right? To be the obedience of the people, binding his foal to the vine, and his donkey's coat to the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his vesture in the blood of grapes. His eyes are darker than wine, and his teeth whiter than milk. So, when we go over here to Revelation, right, 12, and we get what we getting out of Genesis chapter 49, we see this person who sits on this actually it's 19, excuse me. We see the person that sits on the rider on this white horse is Judah, right? So Judah is sitting on this white horse. Right, and that could even be validated by the Asylum documents. Alright, so I want to come over to the Dead Sea Scrolls real quick. And we're gonna touch on this, you know, this person on this white horse, right? Who has he essentially has the armies which were in heaven, you know, following him and they follow him upon white horses, right? So we're gonna verify this in the writings of the sons of Zadok. Right, and it said the election and holy life in the community, right, of the covenant. Because as I told you many times, you know what I'm saying, these Essenes separated and set up this separate community, right, this way of holiness in the wilderness to bring the children of Israel back, right, into the national registry of national law, natural law, excuse me, right, ecclesiastical law, the covenant. So right here it says inevitably, for the Qumran Essenes, such a notion of covenant membership was far too elastic. Consistent with their approach to legal matters, their attitude in regard to the covenant was that only the initiates of their own new covenant were to be reckoned among God's elect, and as such united already on earth with the angels of heaven. Okay, check that out. Okay, now check it out. I say, God has given them to his chosen, right? And he has caused them to inherit the lot of thy Holy One. So he has caused them to inherit this lot of thy holy ones. He has joined their assembly to the sons of heaven to be a council of the community, a foundation of building of holiness and eternal plantation throughout all the ages, right? So an eternal plantation, right? The planting of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So his righteous are inheriting this lot of the holy ones, and their assembly is joined to the sons of heaven, right? To be a council of the community. Alright, so over here it says future expectations in the community of the covenant, right? Go down right here, it says, such was to be the course of war in its earthly dimensions, but it would possess in addition a cosmic quality. The host of the sons of light commanded by the prince of the congregation were to be supported by the angelic armies led by the prince of light. Alright, so check that out. The host of the sons of light, which is the community of the covenant, right? They become the sons of light. As the Assyrian documents tell you, it say the host of the sons of light commanded by the prince of the congregation, right, were to be supported by the angelic armies led by the prince of light. and known in the scrolls as the Archangel Michael, okay, or Melchizedek. Similarly, the ungodly of the covenant and their Gentile associates were to be aided by the demonic forces of Satan, Belial or Melchiresha. These two opposing camps were to be evenly matched, and God's intervention alone would bring them about the destruction of evil. Elsewhere, the grand finale is represented as the judgment scene in which the heavenly prince Melchizedek recompenses the holy ones of God and execute the vengeance of the judgments of our God over Belial and his lot. Yet my interpretation of another non-Messianic composition is correct. The symbolic opponent usurping in this writing the title Son of God and also Son of the Most High is said to be overcome by the people of God, ready to establish with the help of the great God an eternal kingdom. Right? So it's the role of the priests and Levites in this imaginary ultimate grappling of good and evil, as described in the war scrolls, emerges as that of non-combatants performing various battle rituals, directing the various war activities, advance, retreat, ambush. However, it is more difficult to determine the function of the commander-in-chief, the so-called prince of the congregation. We learned that on his shield would be inscribed his name, right? The names of Israel, Levi, and Aaron, and those of the 12 tribes and their chiefs. All right, it say, but little room appears to be left in the war rule for him to act as the royal Messiah. God himself is the supreme agent, right? Supreme, sovereign authority, right, of salvation. After him, in importance, is Michael. Okay. Okay, so as we see, right, that rider on the white horse, right, and it said, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses. We see that's verified in the Asylum documents, right? It says the host of the sons of light, commanded by the prince of the congregation, right, were to be supported by the angelic armies led by the prince of light, also known in the scrolls as the Archangel Michael. All right, so bring it down here to the heavenly prince Melchizedek. It says a striking mid-1st century BCE document composed of 11 fragments from Cave 11 and centered on the mysterious figure of Melchizedek was first published by A.S. van der Woude. It takes form of the eschatological midrash in which the proclamation of liberty, right, to the captives at the end days is understood as being a part of the general restoration of property during the year of the Jubilee, as seen in the Bible, right, and as a remission of debt. All right, so check this out. Let's see. All right, so get that. Speaking about Michael, right? He is the head of the sons of heaven, the gods of justice, right? Okay. It say, and concerning that which he said, in this year of Jubilee, each of you shall return to his property. Right? Return, because you remember you robbed God. You know what I'm saying? So you return to his property, and likewise, and this is the manner of release. Every creditor shall release that which he has lent to his neighbor, that he shall not exact it of his neighbor and his brother, for God's release has been proclaimed. Right? It has been proclaimed, and it will be proclaimed at the end of the days concerning the captives, as said, to proclaim liberty to the captive. Its interpretation is that he will assign them sons of heaven and to the inheritance of Melchizedek, for he will cast their lot amid portions of Melchizedek, who will return them there and will proclaim them liberty, right, forgiving them the wrongdoings of their iniquity. And this will occur in the first week of the Jubilee that follows the 9 Jubilees. And the Day of Atonement is the end of 10th Jubilee, with all the sons of light, right, of the community of covenant, and the sons of the lot of Melchizedek, which is the angels of Michael, will be atoned for. And the statutes concerning them provided them with their reward. For this is the moment of the year of grace for Melchizedek, like it said in Isaiah. Let's get it, huh? Alright, so in Isaiah chapter 61, right, where it was telling us that we are to be called these trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified, right? Which is the cedars of Lebanon. So we are to be called these cedars of Lebanon. Check out what he say. He say, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, right? Starting from the top, it say, the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord have anointed me to preach the good tidings unto the meek. Now understand something. See, you know what I'm saying? This is coming from Isaiah. Isaiah is Yashe Ahiah, which he is literally another Yahshua. You know what I'm saying? He is a Yahshua or a Joshua. You know what I'm saying? It was many Joshuas that none came to offer us salvation. You see what I'm saying? Not just the one in the Exodus of the book of Joshua, but you also got Yashayahu, right? Which is Isaiah. You know what I'm saying? You got Hosea, which is another Yahshua. You even got the Joshua, the branch, in the book of Zechariah. So understand, Yasha'iah, which is salvation of the Lord, said what? That the Lord have anointed him. Okay, anointed is what? Anointed literally means to be, when you understand the Messiah, right? You know what I'm saying? The Mashiach means to be anointed, right? To be smeared with oil. So your boy Isaiah is literally an anointed one, a Mashiach, right? A salvation of the Lord, Jeshua, anointed. Right? Anointed, right? Dealing with Mashiach, right? Dealing with Meshach, the Mashiach, however you want to look at it, right? Dealing with the Messiah, the anointed one. But he came to offer salvation. So he said, right, that the Spirit of the Lord God is upon him, because the Lord have anointed him, right, to preach the good tidings unto the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and opening of the prisons to them that are bound, right, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord and the day of the vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn, right, to provide refuge of sanctuary for those mournful ones, those mournfully at status. You know what I'm saying? But let's pull up these hold on one second. When you're reading the seeing text and they talking about this proclamation of liberty, right? They say, for this is the moment of the year of grace of Melchizedek, right? The Prince Michael, right? And he will by his strength judge the holy ones of God, executing judgment, as it is written concerning him in the sons of David, who said, Elohim has taken his place in the divine council. In the midst of gods he holds judgment, right? So right, look, and it was concerning him that he said, let the assembly of the people return to the height above them, right? Going back to the status, right? The height of the situation. You know what I'm saying? The status. So let me go back. So what he telling? He say, and concerning him that he said, let the assembly, let the gathering of the people return to the status above them, right? Let them be morally pure, connected with the counsel of the heavenly. You see what I'm saying? So we must proclaim the year of the Lord, right? The acceptable year of the Lord. For the year of the Lord is the grace for Melchizedek, for the Archangel Michael to what? To come and join our council, right? And his armies to be with us. See, that's where the protection comes from. You see what I'm saying? So we got to proclaim that the hand of bondage has been lifted up off of us, and that the Lord is now accepting us back from grace, right? Because let me ask you something, man. Like over here in Isaiah, we look at Isaiah chapter 40, dealing with the voice in the wilderness, and then we understand John, right, said that he is this voice, right? He said, I am the voice of one crying in the wilderness. Make straight the way of the Lord, as said the prophet Isaiah. So let me, know what I'm saying? Now let me ask you, is John literally crying? Okay, is John literally crying in the wilderness? You know what I'm saying? Or is he making proclamations in the wilderness, right? Proclaim, to cry, call out forth, right? To cry out. You see what I'm saying? A proclamation is what? Is the act of making public, right? That is which is proclaimed, right? Saying that we exist, making it public, making it known who we are. You see what I'm saying? So with this refuge and this sanctuary that John has established in the wilderness, where he has made this way of the Lord, right? It's what he is crying. Is he crying or is he proclaiming liberty? Right? Liberty is what? Liberty is free choice, freedom to do as one chooses, freedom from the bondage of sin, right? Because he is cleaning them, making them white and clean, bringing them back from the bondage of sin. You see what I'm saying? So, therefore making that proclamation, right? Proclaim and cry out that what? Right? For this is the moment of the year of the Lord, of the year of the graceful Melchizedek. You see what I'm saying? And that we shall return to that height, to that status, right? Alright, so coming back, you know what I'm saying, to Revelation 19, we can see, right, that this rider on the white horse is a very powerful concept, and it is explained further in the Asylum documents, right, from the Council of the Sons of Zadok. Now, like we was looking at the identity of this person sitting upon this white horse, and as we got from this site right here, we know that this is talking about Judah, because we see in Genesis 49 it has the same pretense, right? The same context as Revelation 19. So we know that this is dealing with Judah, but you know, as we digging in the Assyrian documents, we can further verify that, right, when we come over here to the War Scrolls. Now we know that this person sitting on this white horse, who is supposedly, possibly Judah, right, has the armies of heaven following him. And as the Assyrian document stated, right, the council of the community, which is the Assyrian community, is joined with the heavenly community because they are bounded with the covenant, right? So so to further prove the identity of the person sitting on the white horse, we can go to the War Scroll, right, in the Dead Sea Scrolls, and check it out, right? It says, for the master, right, the rule of war on the unleashing attack of the sons of light, right, against the company of the sons of darkness, right, the army of Belial, against the band of Edom, Moab, and the sons of Ammon, and the army of all the sons of the east, and the Philistines, and against the bands of Kittim, right, the Romine, and Assyria, and their and all the allies of the ungodly of the covenant, right? So you know what this is talking about. When you separate into that wilderness, you know when the Bible tells you about the serpent coming against you and stuff like that, and all the nations being round about, and things like that. But check out what it says. It says the sons of Levi, Benjamin, and Judah that exiles in the desert, right, shall battle against them in ... all their bands when the exiled sons of light, right, this council of the community, returned from the desert of the peoples to camp in the desert of Jerusalem after the battle. After the battle, they shall go up from there to Jerusalem, right? So understand that the exiles of Judah, Levi, and Benjamin, the exiles of which is basically the southern kingdom, right? The kingdom of Judah. So essentially, this person on the white horse is this excuse me, y'all. Sorry about that. The person on the white horse is Judah, the southern kingdom, right? And like it said, the lawgiver shall not depart from Judah. We know, you know what I'm saying, Levi and Judah is composed in the southern kingdom. So the exiles in the desert of the southern kingdom are the ones who war against, you know what I'm saying, the armies of Belial, because they are joined to the council of heaven, right, to the armies of Melchizedek or the Archangel Michael. All right, so now that we, you know what I'm saying, got a good concept of who the rider is on the white horse, you know what I'm saying, now we need to understand what this white horse is. You feel what I'm saying? And things of that nature. So now white is what? We know white is Lebanon, right? Lebanon. So the rider is on a white horse. Now we know the rider is the council of the community, right, of the southern kingdom that's separated and exiled into the wilderness or the desert, right? And established this council of the community. Now we don't understand what the Assyrians call the council of the community. All right, so when you come to this section titled "Worship in the Community of the Covenant," There's a very interesting section, right? Okay, right here. And remember, we got this in the tribal gathering of Lebanon, in the sacred altar, the sacred peace pipe video. We got this section as well. We're gonna get it again because it's very important, right? It says the second issue has to do with the sect's attitude towards the temple and temple sacrifice. While some Essenes, notwithstanding their vow to total fidelity to the law of Moses, rejected the validity of the sanctuary and refused to participate temporarily in its rites, right? Because, you know, the priests of the sanctuary, the Pharisees and scribes, was wicked. They evaded the theological dilemma in which this stand might have placed them by contending that until the rededication of the temple, the only true worship of God was to be offered in their establishment. All right, the council of the community was to be the most holy dwelling for Aaron. Okay, so understand that, because we know what the Most High tells in Ezekiel, that the sons of Zadok are the only ones who can minister him in New Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? So so by their precepts is what's going to, you know, get you into New Jerusalem, or, you know what I'm saying, cause you to inherit New Jerusalem. But anyway, so it's it says, where without the flesh of holocaust, the fat of sacrifice, a sweet fragrance was to be sent up to God, and where prayer was to serve as an acceptable fragrance of righteousness. The community itself was to be the sacrifice offered to God in atonement for Israel's sins, right? To bring the nation back to him. Okay. Besides this evidence in the community rule, the equation of the council of the community, right, with the temple also appears in Habakkuk commentary. What is that? Chapter 12, I guess. Verses 3 through 4. In a interesting interpretation of the word Lebanon, right? Tradition in Lebanon is understood by Jewish interpreters to symbolize the temple. Now, we also know what, right? We also know that Lebanon, going on, okay, that Lebanon means whiteness. You feel what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. They say Lebanon is understood by ancient Jewish interpreters to symbolize the temple. So Lebanon literally means the temple, right? For example, Deuteronomy 3:25, let me go over and see that goodly mountain in Lebanon, is rendered in Onkelos as let me go over and see that goodly mountain and temple, right? But which is crazy, because we know when Moses says this, you know, the Israelites become encamped at Shittim, so he dies, right, and is buried in Mount Nebo, and then the children of Israel leave Shittim with Joshua. And Moses is asking the Most High to let him go over and see that goodly mountain in Lebanon. So we know the place of cedars in Lebanon is in the area right amongst Shittim. But as they saying right here, it is also referred as let me go over and see that goodly mountain and temple. So Lebanon is literally, you know what I'm saying, in reference to the temple, right? The Qumran commentator, explaining the Habakkuk text, for the violence done to Lebanon shall overwhelm you, proceeds from the belief that the council of the community is the one valid temple, right? Almost the same thing like the church, right? The church is not the building. The church is the people, the congregation, the assembly, the gathering, right? So it's he then sets out to prove it by directly associating Lebanon with the council in the conviction that the traditional exegesis will be familiar to all his readers. Lebanon equals temple. Temple equals council of the community. Ergo, Lebanon equals the council of the community. So the council of the community, right, the ones who are joined with Michael, is literally called Lebanon. Okay, remember right here, the election in the holy life, in the community of the covenant. What it said initiates that their own new covenant were to be reckoned among God's elect as such, united already on earth with the angels of heaven, right? So God has given them to his chosen. He has caused them to inherit the lot of the holy ones. So he has joined their assembly to the sons of heaven, right? To be a council of the community. So the council of the community is joined to the sons of heaven. Okay, so It says, the host of the sons of light, commanded by the prince of the congregation. We know the sons of light are the council of the community, right? They call it the sons of Aaron, the sons of light, the real illuminated ones. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, so the sons of light, right, commanded by the prince of the congregation, which is the prince of the council of the community, were supported by the angelic armies, led by the prince of light, also known in the scrolls as Archangel Michael. Okay, so bam, we can see right there straight up that the council of community, right, the sons of light, that's joined with the armies of heaven are literally called Lebanon, right? And Lebanon, we know what? Lebanon means whiteness, right? Lebanon, white. Now, when you look up the etymology on white, white mean the first thing you get is whiteness, is Lebanon. So white is Lebanon. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I'm telling you, it don't matter what, if you want to proclaim that you're morally pure or not, understand, you gonna be called morally pure either way it go. You're not getting in that council of the community, right? And that lawful establishment, you know what I'm saying, not being white and clean. You know what I'm saying? The council is literally called Lebanon. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop being simple, you know what I'm saying, and thinking that this stuff is tied to some nation, because we know there's no nation on the planet called white. There's no land called white. The people who are called white are nations of 3 different territories, you know what I'm saying, with a whole bunch of different people that have all different color shades of skin. You know what I'm saying? But they all operate under that system of the 3-headed beast, though, which is religious law, which is either the Bible, the Quran, or the Babylonian Talmud, the Jewish, you know what I'm saying, the Judaic Talmud stemming from Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, right? Everyone who is white is sovereign based upon religious law. We have the law of nature. We was created in natural essence. So, you know what I'm saying? We are white and clean. We are white and pure. And if you don't believe me, we can look and see that in our ancestors' establishments. All right, so come over here, right, to the Cherokee. You know what I'm saying? Now, remember, I was telling you, the brother, you know, Howard Martin, he was bringing out the Cherokee legend on the Cedars, right? And in that legend, they tell you that whenever whenever you as a Cherokee Indian look upon the cedar tree, understand that is your ancestor, right? That is in Cherokee spirit, right? So you know what I'm saying? So we're going to dig on the Cherokee, because most of our people, most of you are Cherokee, you know what I'm saying? So, so as we see, right, the name translating to principal people, as my brother Natural by Law showing you, these people were morally pure people. You know, we're going to get into that. And now what's funny is, you know, they said it is a Choctaw word meaning people who live in the mountains. Now think about that, because the word Utah, right, and then they say it comes from Judah, right, and it means literally the same thing, right? People who live in the mountains. Okay, let's get it real quick. All right, etymology, the name Utah is derived from the name of the Ute tribe, right, and it means people of the mountains, right? Utah is derived from the Apache name Yuda, right? Okay, so you know what I'm saying, that's interesting, you know, very interesting. Oh, dang, boy, I ain't even see this. People who live in the cave country. Bam, dang, that's crazy. Now that's very interesting. Like that, I just literally seen that. But like I was finna say was, you know, we're dealing with these people who live in the mountains. It's very interesting that the Cherokee of Tennessee, right, are called the people who live in the mountains, as well as the Utah of Utah are called the Utah people of the mountains, right? Now these are 2 areas we've been looking at, like a Damascus, you know, Lebanon separational area, right? Even in Tennessee, we have the Cedars of Lebanon. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. And we know in Utah it's definitely cave country. You know what I'm saying? Canyon country and things like that. You know, so just with those things being said, we're gonna get into some of this drop. Okay. All right, so in early cultures, right? The American writer John Howard Payne wrote about the pre-19th century Cherokee culture and society. He said the Payne papers describe the account by Cherokee elders of a tradition of a two-part society. Okay, a white organization of elders represented the 7 clans. Right. Shout out to the Bro Natural by Law for bringing this out. He said, as Payne recounted, this group, which is hereditary and priestly, right, was responsible for religious activities such as healing, purification, and prayer. Right. A second group of younger men, the Red organization, were responsible for warfare. Right. So you see here that the Cherokee in their society had a council. Right. The council of their community was literally called white. It was a white organization of elders, right? And it was hereditary and priestly, right? Sounds just like our Levitical priesthood. You feel what I'm saying? And now they were responsible for the religious activities such as healing, purification, and prayer, right? Now, not only was they responsible for these things, because we know, let me see. Hold on one second. Right, we know that the Cherokee literally called those cities, they called them cities of refuge, right? The Cherokee even called them cities of refuge. And now we know that in the cities of refuge that this white council of the community also has the right to provide religious asylum, right? Under which a person can persecuted by their own country may be protected by another sovereign authority. So I'm saying, such as a country or church official, right? This sovereign authority dealing with this white council, right? That is established in the Word of God. They offer sanctuary. You know what I'm saying? All right. So understand that this is a literal city of refuge, right? A sanctuary, a temple, right? Lebanon, right? A white organization. You know what I'm saying? Now these Levites, just think about it, you know what I'm saying? These priests had the ability to go within the entire nation of Israel. They were white. You see what I'm saying? They was able to dwell in every land lot inheritance of the tribes. They were priestly suburbs set up to them, and they could move within the lot inheritance, you know what I'm saying? Transverse through the lands of Israel in the different tribal territories. So these people were white, you know what I'm saying? They had a different status. You see what I'm saying? So let's get into these this organization. All right. So right in this website, Cherokee by Blood. Let's deal with some as we see right here. We see what a council house. So the ancient Cherokee lived in an alternating state of war and peace, which called for dual organizations of tribal government: a white or peace organization and a red or war organizations, right? All right. So it said if either of the two organizations was in any way subordinate to the other, it was the red one, since the great high priest of the white council, right, could make or unmake war chiefs. So the white officials were either to some extent hereditary through female line, but we know our scripture says differently. You know what I'm saying? They trying to incorporate themselves because they my sons, they sons of fallen angels, through the female human, or subject to appointment by the great high priest. So even the Essene scrolls say the same thing. They tell you that the council of the community that is led by the priest Messiah, right? The great high priest of the council of the community, he is also the leader in the war scrolls. He's also the chief in the war scrolls. So what they're saying definitely coincides with our ancient biblical canonical text. All right. So the white organization, right? So we know white. First thing you get for white is whiteness. You know what I'm saying? Which is literally Lebanon. So let's say the white organization, right, or Lebanon. The white organization consisted of a set of officials aged 50 or more, a large portion of whom were priests, ministers, right, and who performed both secular and religious functions. The higher authority was the great high priest, whose Cherokee name was Uku. All right. The great high priest had a principal assistant, a great speaker, right, and 7 counselors representing the 7 clans, whom he consulted on all matters of importance. It was this group of officials that helped him determine the times of national feasts and made arrangements for them, right? In addition to administering civil law, right? Ministering civil law, right? Community law and things like that. White officials alone owned the prayers for invoking blessings from the protective spirits. White officials could remove the uncleanliness from polluted persons and restore them to normal life. The principal officers in the white organization were the chief of the tribe, right? The great high priest Uku or Oka, right? The chief's principal assistants, also called the right hand man, the one who fanned them. All right, the chief's messengers, right? You know, the priests are messengers and things, you know, chief speaker, right? The council of elders, right? The beloved men, beloved women, you know what I'm saying? And things like that. Get up off of here. You know what I'm saying? The priest who superintended the buildings of the high house, you know what I'm saying? Catch the drop. So on the festival occasion, the Uku was clothed in a sleeveless white waistcoat and wore a broad woven belt. Now don't think about that now. He wrapped around his shoulders a shawl fashioned a consecrated deerskin that was also whitened, right? And wore a new pair of whitened buckskin moccasins, right? That he had made and stitched together with deer sinew. So remember, they tell you that the Assyrians are called white. They call themselves white Lebanon, and they dress in all white. So here you got your boy. He dressed in all white buckskin, deerskin moccasins. You feel what I'm saying? All white, right? Lebanon. You know what I'm saying? He's literally Lebanon, and not only that, but he's wearing animal skin and a woven belt, right? Just like the priest John, right, was wearing the bear skin and the leather belt. So you know what I'm saying? Things like this is very important, right? Right, all priests had secular ritual pipes. You know what I'm saying? That was, I think, down here. Let me see something. I don't know. It talks about the pipe, right? The coronation. It's very interesting. In addition to his special costume, the Uku had a standard or flag, right? So he had a banner, which consisted of a long white pole carved with an eagle on the top, bearing a pennant made of white cloth of deerskin. So they all white everything. These, come on, man. This is your separate community. Painted with red spots like the stars. All right, in case of sudden attack, the standard was raised in front of the national heptagon, and the national council would, after assembly for divination with tobacco smoke with the herbal incense to invoke the creator, to learn the nature and extent of the emergency, right? Okay, so I'm gonna catch this right here. Say, the candidate stood up, right? This new Uku, this chief priest, and accepted for his breechcloth. His clothes were removed by another priest. The next priest assistant presented the candidate with an eagle tail fan, old sacred tobacco, and a sacred pipe, which was the signal for the candidate to commence smoking with the other priest as a token of friendship and loyalty. Each priest smoked his own pipe, for the candidate's pipe, since he was being transformed into the Uku, right, the chief priest, was sacred. Alright, so I just want to get that, you know what I'm saying, touching on the pipes and the herbal sacrifice and incense, herbal incense that they were sending up, you know, in the communion, you know, dealing with this white organization, right, who wasn't dealing with animal sacrifice, and said they had the pipes sending incense up. Alright, so then coming over here to the document that we've been touching on lately, that I got from the Brother King Drops library, in the Forbidden History of the Ancient Americas book, chapter 14, right? And it said, it was talking about Aztec means people of whiteness, right? So it says that originally called the Aztec or people of Aztlan. Aztlan meaning whiteness. Now let me ask you something. If you Chinese, dog, you know what I'm saying? What that mean? That mean that you have origins in the people of China, right? You know what I'm saying? So if you're a white person, now that should mean that you have origins in the people of whiteness, right? Or the people of white. But in no country called white, so we know these people ain't got no origins in the people called white. So if our ancestors was literally calling themselves the people of whiteness, they were saying they were white people. They were morally pure people. It's no way around that. You feel what I'm saying? They literally calling themselves white. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's the morally pure establishment. Understand? That's why I say when you proclaim liberty and you proclaim that you are in a morally pure Atakchan, if that's what you choose to do, then understand the vibration. Like I say, if you call yourself a football player, you better be playing football, right? You can't be, you know what I'm saying, not doing nothing and then talking about, you know, I'm this and I'm that. So if you know what white means, if you know it means to be morally pure, then understand if you choose to call yourself that, you have to live in a morally pure vibration. You have to be bounded to that characteristic, right? That nature. Alright, so you know what I'm saying, when you come back to Isaiah 35 and you understand that this way, right? This highway, right? This way of holiness that shall be there in the wilderness, it tell you straight up that what? The glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it. So the glory of whiteness, of moral purity shall be given unto it. We can even go check out Isaiah chapter 60, which is one chapter before we get, you know what I'm saying, he tell us about the proclamation of liberty and being called the trees of righteousness, right? So so let's see what we want here. It says the glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box trees together, right? The wilderness trees, right? It says to beautify the place of my sanctuary, right? The place of my refuge. He say, I will make the place of my feet glorious. The sons of all them that afflict thee shall come bending unto thee, right? And all they that despise thee shall bow down the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of the Lord, right? This sanctuary, the city of refuge, you know what I'm saying? The Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Okay, so it says, let me see what I want to see. Okay, jump down right here. It says in chapter 60, verse 21, it says, the people shall be all righteous, right? They shall be all morally pure, right? They shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified, right? Similar to chapter 61, where the Most High tells us that we are to be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. And when we do that and when we become that, we know that what? Ye shall be named the priests of the Lord. Men shall call you the ministers of our God. You see what I'm saying? The ministers are the lawgivers, right? They write and enforce law. Law is the foundation of the nation, right? You know what I'm saying? Law is what gives the nation the right to be just that. You know what I'm saying? And now what's interesting is when you look at this word birth, right? Let me see if I see it on here. Hold on, let's just go to it. When you look at this word birth, it literally has the same root as the Hebrew word berith, which is covenant, right? That BRT, right? So the berith is the covenant. Now think about that. It has the same root as the word birth, right? To be born. Now we know that the birth we're dealing with is the birth of a nation, right? And the law, the covenant, is literally what establishes the birth of a nation, right? So when you become established under that sovereign authority, right? The word of God as your sovereignty, right? And become, you know what I'm saying, this lawful establishment or country that can then provide the right of asylum to your persecuted brethren and sistren, right? All right, man. So as we come back over here to the Dead Sea Scrolls and everything, we see, man, that the literal council of the community is called Lebanon. You see what I'm saying? It's literally called Lebanon or whiteness. So we know that the council of the community is the council that is linked with the heavenly council and the heavenly armies, right? So this rider that's on the white horse, we know that he is on the what? This is the rider of the Lebanon council. You see what I'm saying? He is on the white horse. Now, we know that this is taking place in the wilderness, right? And so we've been looking on, and if we're dealing with Lebanon, we know that this wilderness encompasses the cedar tree, right? So now we were digging on this cedar tree, and it's some very interesting things. Okay, so when we was looking at cedar, right, and we're looking at the breakdown of the word, right? You have this two-part word, right? Kedros, right? Kedros, meaning cedar or juniper. Now Ked, as we went over, I'm gonna type in seed or Cedar, however you want to pronounce it, because it deals with cedar, or Cedar, which has this, this is all the same root. But right, Ked, right, which is the prefix of cedar, is dealing with to go, right? To go or to yield, right? As we got, right, to drive away, chase, and things like that. But really, like to go, to proceed, leave, right? To so basically like to exodus. You know what I'm saying? Now, what's also funny is let me go back. Is when you look up horse, right? Horse, right? To provide with horse or horses, horse. Right, this solidungalet, right? That's crazy. Solidungalet, but it's a member of the family, and blah 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 blah. Check this out. Old English, horse, right? Horse from Prometic General Horsa, right? Horos, right? Horse, Dutch, oars, Dutch, Rose, High German, Horos, German, Rose, horse. You know what I'm saying? Curse to run. Alright, to run, right? So horse, when you look at this horse, the root of it literally goes back to this word right here. Rose. So then you go back to cedar and you see that it's composed of this two-part word, kedros, ked meaning to go away, leave, and ros is essentially a horse. So does it mean to go away and leave on a horse? You know what I'm saying? Like, we know that the cedars are in Lebanon, so the cedars are the cedars of whiteness, right? The cedars of Lebanon. Now, this person is on a white horse, so he's literally on the white horse, right? In the place of the cedar tree, the cedars of Lebanon, going away, exiting on that horse. You see what I'm saying? In that council of the community, in that monastic society. All right, so coming back to the Cherokee real quick, we can see that this tribe that constituted this white council, right, or this council of the community, this Lebanon council, and how it showed that their name means people who live in the mountains, right, or people who live in the cave country, right. Just like even over there in Utah and in the Four Corners, you got this separate society who's separated in these canyons, right, and the name Utah came from Yuda, right, and it means, right, people of the mountain in the language of the people that it comes from, right. So not, I just wanted to bring that back up because it reminded me of Matthew's, man, chapter 24, excuse me, when you're dealing with the signs of the end of the age, right, and where you got the abomination of desolation, and it says where thereof. Therefore, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, he say, stand in the holy place, right? Whosoever readeth, let him understand. He say, then let them be which in Judea flee in the mountains, right? So we see a society of separate people who did just that. You know what I'm saying? And not only being separate, they set up this separate council, right, of the Lebanon organization or council of the community. All right, man. With all that being said, about the white horse and everything, you know what I'm saying? I got to share something with y'all that I believe was beautiful, it was powerful, was divine. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy, man. So we just recently had the 4th of July, right? This holiday that celebrates the independence of this invasive nation, right? The sovereign establishment of this invasive nation on our land, in our garden, right? So, you know, dealing with that, just with that alone, you know what I'm saying? With the 4th of July being represented as the holiday of celebrating the independence of a nation, right? The becoming that sovereign, independent, recognized nation. You know what I'm saying? So on the 4th of July, you know, everybody go and they pop all these fireworks and everything like this. So, you know, in my hood and everything, in my community, shall I say, you know, the people, they want to pop the fireworks and everything and come together and have fun. So, so it was around, like, I think it was July the 2nd. Yeah, because it was that Sunday before the, it was that Sunday before the 4th, which was yesterday, Tuesday. You know what I'm saying, if I'm not mistaken. Today Wednesday, right? Yeah, today Wednesday. All right, so yeah. So Sunday, you know what I'm saying, my folks had a little get together for the folks who probably weren't going to be able to be available on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying, everything, they was out there popping fireworks, you know what I'm saying, everybody was out there, you know, enjoying themselves, even though they were celebrating, you know, the wicked establishment of this nation, whether they claim they are or not, it really don't matter, but, you know what I'm saying, but what was crazy, man, you know, so, you know, my folk, they popping fireworks, got big fireworks going, right, and people was recording videos, putting it on Facebook Live, right? So one of them cousins had the video on Facebook Live and we was watching it, dog. And oh, I promise you, listen, I'm going to show you. My cousin paused the video, and in the middle of the video, I'm going to show you what popped up. And I tell you no lie. So check this out, right? So this is the video of the fireworks that was on Facebook Live, right? Now, he paused the video right here. Now, look at this. Right, let me see, I'm gonna go to some other ones. Man, just look at this, man. Tell me what you see. I know it get hard, but hold on, it's gonna get a little clearer. Look right here, man, and see this man sitting on this white horse. See this man sitting on this horse, man. Tell me you don't see it. Tell me you don't see that man sitting on that horse. Dog, my cousin, he paused that, and they were looking, they're like, boy, look like a man sitting on a horse. And my cousin just snatched the phone. He's like, oh, boy, I gotta go show cuz, And he just went, and he showed, he was like, bro, look at this. This is the video of the firecrackers we were popping, right? Signifying the independence of that wicked nation. But look what the Most High popped up in them fireworks, man, showing that white horse that we were just building on, dealing with this, the sovereign establishment and independence of our nation. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, boy, that is powerful, dog. That was amazing, because I was coming, you know what I'm saying? I was planning on dropping this video. You know what I'm saying? So when cuz showed me that, I was blown away. So man, like I say, man, I was literally, man, blown away, man. You know what I'm saying, by this picture right here. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it looked, I'm gonna show you what it looked like. Hold on one second. Alright, just check that out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, just peep it, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you. But like I say though, man, it just looked like this picture of Haile Selassie. You know what I'm saying? That we seen, you know, with him on the white horse. Right? I don't know, man. It was just crazy, man. But I'm gonna tell you, man, the Most High is moving, boy. Understand, boy. I'm here to tell you, the Most High doing some real things, man, amongst the tribe. All right, man. So real quick, you know what I'm saying? I was over here, and one day I was thinking, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking about something, and I remembered right from one of my old videos, that Moab video I did, Cedars of God. You know what I'm saying? I was reading from the Cedars of God tab, right? You know what I'm saying? Cedars of God. 'Cause essentially, we are the Cedars of God, right? The Cedars of Hawa. And the Cedars of God are in Lebanon, right? And ours, right? Arzareth, right? Right? The forest of the Lebanon cedar, right? The morally pure cedar trees and the morally pure autochthons who sprang from soil like the trees, right? So when you know what I'm saying, when you digging on this cedars of God, man, it takes you to this place, man. Right here, this Kadisha Valley. And so I remember from the Kadisha Valley, you know, Kadisha means holy. So in this holy valley, it was crazy because it said that it sheltered this Christian monastic communities for centuries, right? But down here, it was saying that let me see if I can find it real quick, right? See, there's a little way below the forest of the Cedars of God, right? The Cedars of Lebanon, the Cedars of God. The Kadisha Valley is near the forest of the Cedars of God. Survivors of the ancient Cedars of Lebanon, most highly prized building materials of the world, right? So now check this out. They said the Kadisha Valley, the Kadisha Valley many natural caves have been used as shelters, right, for burials back in the Paleolithic period and stuff like that. But check this out. I say since the early centuries of Christianity, the Holy Valley has served as refuge. You know what I'm saying? For those in search of solitude. You know what I'm saying? So okay, I was like, dang. And they say historians believe that Kadisha Valley has had a monastic communities continuously since the earliest years of Christianity. So in the Holy Valley, near the Cedars of God, right, the forest of the Cedars of Lebanon, people was seeking refuge, right? They were seeking refuge, in a monastic community, right? Which led me to start thinking about monasteries. You feel what I'm saying? All right, so that it got me thinking about monastery, a monastery and monks and things of that nature, man. And as I was building with my bro, Natural by Law, we were just talking about things of that nature. So I went to further reading into the Dead Sea Scrolls, and it was funny because I ended up running upon this. It say in this right here subtitled "The Community," it says that our perplexity is mainly due to an absence in the documents, singly or together, of any systematic exposition of the sex constitution, right? And laws. The community rule legislates for a group of ascetics, right? A group of ascetics living in a kind of monastic society. The statutes of the Damascus document for ordinary lay existence. All right, so probably echoes the prehistory or early history of the sect and the war rule and Messianic rule and their return, while associated with the community rule and the Damascus document, and no doubt reflecting to some extent a contemporary state of affairs, first and foremost plan for the future age. All right, so check that out. So the Essenes were literally living in a monastic community, and they were setting up the rules and the guidelines to how to establish this monastic society in Babylon, right? In the method of separation. All right. So build on monastery for a little bit. Monastery is a building or complex of buildings comprising a domestic quarters and workplace of monastics, monks, or nuns, whether living in communities or alone, hermits, right? A monastery generally includes a place reserved for prayer, which may be a chapel, church, or temple, right? And may also serve as an oratory, all right? Let's see here. All right, so what I'm saying, check that out. What I'm saying, get the history on what a monastery is, and now when you understand monastery is dealing with these monks, right, or what they call hermits, these hermits who dwell in the monastery. Now, a hermit is a religious recluse, one who dwells apart in a solitary place for religious meditation. Right, hermit, recluse, you know what I'm saying? All right, person of the desert. All right, so I want to take you over here to the encyclopedia, this dictionary on the eSword, right? For the word monk. All right, remember we got this in one of my earlier videos. So, you know, monk is derived from nanachos, and that from the Greek, right, solitary, which is in turn is derived from the word, you know what I'm saying, solus, designating a person who lives sequestered from the company and conversation of the rest of the world, is a term applied to those who dedicate themselves wholly to the service of religion in buildings set apart, in some buildings set apart for such ascetics, right, known as a monastery or religious house or sanctuary, you know what I'm saying, and who are under tied direction of some particular statute or rule, right? These monks and these ascetics, these Essenes, right, and these hermits, who dwell in this set apart monastery, in place, they are what? They are under the tie of direction of some statute or law. They have bonded themselves back into the covenant, and they seek to live in that accordance, separate from this wicked society, right? So let's see. You know what I'm saying? Solitaries is a term which denotes generally all who addict themselves to a retired or solitary life, and it was usually applied not merely to such as retired to absolute solitude in caves and deserts. You see what I'm saying? But to such as lived apart from the rest of the world in separate societies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, check that out. You know what I'm saying? Like hermit, right? Hermit. So, you know what I'm saying? A monk is dealing with straight up solitary. Just like a hermit, right? A hermit is a religious recluse who dwells apart in a solitary place. Now remember, we was reading out Isaiah chapter 35, and it told us what? The ransom shall return. It says the wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of what? The highway that shall be there, this way, right? Called the way of holiness, right? Supposedly set up by the prophets John, you know what I'm saying, and that is seeing counsel in the community to cleanse and clean the nation of mournful people and make them white and clean, make them Lebanon, right, and join their counsels to the heavenly counsel. See, that's where the protection comes from. You feel what I'm saying? We trying to flee and leave and separate, but the protection comes from being bonded to the covenant with the council of community that is deemed Lebanon, white and pure, right? And we know that we gather together in that place of Lebanon amongst those cedars and become, right, and spark that birth of a nation, right, that brings forth, you know what I'm saying, that lawgiver sitting on that white horse, right, or on literally the cedars of Lebanon, right, in which he had made his exodus, and established himself as a nation, right, and joined his council with the angels, and started conquering. You see what I'm saying, right? So when we dealing with community, man, this would be something that, you know what I'm saying, the family should look at, you know what I'm saying, look at setting up, you know what I'm saying, especially when we look at the ways of our prophets and our priests, you know, the ones who paved the way for, who made a way for us, you know what I'm saying, the ones who were hermits, right, who dwelled apart in solitary places for religious meditation, right, to separate, understand, to separate. Right, remember Christ. Now they talk about Christ Jesus, right, who was baptized by the prophet John. He said that he was from Nazareth, right, which is why they called him a Nazarene. Now the Nazarene is literally, you know what I'm saying, it is literally like another sect of Essenes, right? You got the Essenes and the Nazarenes, right? So when you understand Nazareth is a city. Is the capital and the largest city in northern district of Israel, right? So Nazareth is known as the Arab capital of Israel. All right, well, that ain't really got nothing to do with us. But check this out. In the New Testament, the town is described as the childhood home of Jesus, and such is a center of Christian pilgrimage, right? With many shrines commemorating biblical events. All right, so now understand that. Now Christ came from this place, right? And it's called Nazareth. Now when you look at it, they tell you that Netzir is what? Is one holds the view that Nazareth it's derived from one of the Hebrew words such as branch, right? Netzir, right? Watch, guard, keep. Branch, netzir, will bear fruit. Now that's interesting, all right? Watchtower or guard place. Now these are all interesting, but I feel like none of them is really the connecting, you know what I'm saying, location of the place. Because if you ask me, if you look at the word Nazareth, it has the same prefix, you know what I'm saying, as a Nazarite. Alright, so you know what I'm saying? Let's check on this real quick. Right, in the Hebrew Bible, a Nazarite or Nazarite, right, is one who voluntarily took a vow, right? Nazarite, you know what I'm saying? Consecrated, right? Or separated. So Nazar, the word Nazar, this root right here literally means to be separated. Now we was digging on Arsarif, right, the place where the 10 northern tribes separated themselves to, right, that solitary place, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. And so we know that Arsarif is the cedar land, right? It is composed of two words, Arzar, which is cedar, and Aret, which is land, right? That reth, that f at the end of the word usually denotes land, right? So the word Nazareth, if you ask me, you know what I'm saying, the proper definition for the term is separate land. Right? The land of separation, the land where people go in to do what? You know what I'm saying? But even to, you know, to further prove that, we know one thing about Nazareth, right? Nazareth, and let's see if we can get it. Hold on. Alright, this has led, right here in the etymology, it said, this has led some scholars to question whether Nazareth and its cognates in the New Testament actually refer to the settlement known traditionally as Nazareth in Lower Galilee, right? So, you know, it's crazy they'll say that because the only Nazareth is the Nazareth of Lower Galilee. You know what I'm saying? So, but what's hold on, Northern Galilee, right? All right. So, now let's check out something about Northern Galilee. Now, Galilee, right, is a region in northern Israel, right? So you got Upper Galilee and Galilee. Now, check this out. Okay, Galilee refers to all of the area that is beyond Mount Carmel, right? Northeast, extending from Dan to the north, right? At the base of Harmon, along Mount Lebanon, right, to the ridges of Mount Carmel. Now, check it out. It say historically the part of southern Lebanon excuse me, south of the east-west section of the Litani River also belong to the region of Galilee, but present articles mainly deals with the Israeli part of the region. So they tell you right here, the part of southern Galilee was the part of southern Lebanon was once southern Galilee. So they telling you that this area really was once all a part of Lebanon. You know what I'm saying? When you really get into it, they tell you that Galilee was once a part of Lebanon. So Nazareth literally means separate land, or right, a land of separation. And we see that these people who come from that land tend to be people who dwell apart in solitary places for religious meditation, right? And have separated themselves, right, like Nazarites, which means consecrated or separate. Okay, so Nazarite, right, the modern Hebrew word Nazir is commonly used for monks. There you go, right there. You know what I'm saying? So so this Nazareth place, right, which you don't really see in the Old Testament, which is kind of interesting and weird. But we see that this place really literally has a name, right? Separate land, right? Or place of separation. And we can see the monastic communities and characteristics of the place. All right, man. So with that being said, man, you know what I'm saying? I just want to drop that on you, fam. And as we build, you know, to separate ourselves and build communities, we should look to our Assyrian ancestors, right? The ones who have did just that, because they laid the foundation for us to do it. You know, and like I say, any establishment can be set up. You know what I'm saying? But But what's better, what's the more important thing to do is to make sure that we set up a community that is linked with the council of heaven, right? And established in an ecclesiastical manner. You know what I'm saying? So it would definitely be you know what I'm saying, very wise, man, to try to set up some type of monastic community, because we know what? We know that the hold on, let's get it. Bear with me, fam. I know this video getting long. I really didn't intend for it to be this long. But it says the right of asylum can be given by another sovereign authority, such as a country or a church official who can offer sanctuary. So we literally have to build that church, that sanctuary, you know what I'm saying, that can offer refuge, because we are sovereign and indigenous, but our people are being classified as immigrants. So we have to bring them, make them white and clean, you know what I'm saying, make them clean, give them identity, give them a national status in a national registry, right? Have the council of our communities dwelling in a hermitage or in a monastic way. You know, they are bounded to the oath of the covenant, so they govern the community in the same way. They administer the law of the covenant to the community, right? And these are our elders, our priests, and our councils, and our chief men. You know what I'm saying? So you know, so like I say, man, it would be very wise for the fam to get out there and try to set up this monastic society that can link our people back into the bond of the covenant, right? Because in a monastery is a very complex thing, and it's very ideal and essential too when you think about it, because you know you can do a lot of things with a monastery, man, and generate revenue, income as well to, you know, help substantiate and be self-sufficient, right? Because you can have people you know, make their own pilgrimages and come out and visit your monastery and stay for however long, like a week or two, learn the ways of the monastery. That's where you minister unto the people, right? You teach them your ways, you show them what things in which they should go to become morally pure and clean, right? To heal them, right? Provide that healing and that refuge, that city of refuge, and that sanctuary that they can come from this oppressive serpent, right? That's leaning on them. But man, listen, you can have horses out there in your monastery, you know what I'm saying? And when people come, you can get them horse rides into the forest and just a real, man, there's a lot of things that can happen, man. So I just want your mind to be open to these things, right? You can even have a wood shop in your monastery. Now, you know me, I'm like a carpenter. I like to work with the wood. We could build all kind of things, you know what I'm saying? And people would probably like to have these handmade things from a righteous indigenous establishment, man. So keep all that in mind, man. So I want to send y'all with peace and love, man. This video 3 hours long. I didn't intend for it to be that long. I apologize, but at the same time, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It got to come that way. So I just want to end y'all with this video clip of this monastery. It's called the Monastery of Christ in the Desert, right? And it's in New Mexico. And I think it's amazing, man. I think it's beautiful, man. The monastery. So I'm gonna show y'all some clips of that, man, and you check that out, man. So we should definitely come together, focus on building something for ourselves, you know what I'm saying? So and linking, you know, putting funds together, purchase land so we can set up these communities. All right, man. So I want to bring y'all over here, man, just show you this website I've been working on. This is a little something I was playing with, just to try to get some, you know, established to where we can show and we can link and we can have some type of building platform. So I encourage, you know, everybody to get there, you know what I'm saying? They're building platforms established. Like a lot of YouTube authors have already got their YouTube platform established. So, you know, with the websites, we can link in a more efficient way as well. So I set up this website, right? While I'm working on it, right? I don't know, I just named it Mount Hawal, right? The mountain of the Lord, right? Because we are the mountain of God, right? Right, way of holiness. And Mount Hawa is the monastic temple community and holy assembly of the White Autochthons, right? Also known as the Cedars of Lebanon. Because when we're dealing with assembly, we're dealing with the gathering, right? The gathering of a nation, the gathering of a people, the gathering of a tribe. All right, so you know what I'm saying. Then so got this about us section right here, you know. Just a little something. I ain't finished. I'm still working on the mission statement. So I just wanted to show y'all that, you know, and possibly I'm gonna try to create a GoFundMe possibly when I get it all set up, you know, so have a platform to, you know what I'm saying, to build, come together, link funds together, man, and establish a monastic society. Because honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, that's my personal vision right now, man, to establish some type of monastic community in a place of solitude. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to leave y'all with that, man. Let me know your thoughts, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. And if you have land, you know, people who got land, man, come together, build, man, use the resources, man. Build that community, you know what I'm saying, on them acres. You know what I'm saying? Like Country Wayne say, boy, I need them acres. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna drop this video on y'all, and hope y'all enjoy it, man. Until next time, y'all be easy and stay blessed. Shalom.
Well, we'll continue our tour from the parking lot. Actually, it's the morning after. I drove in, it was cloudy, you may recall. Right now, the morning after is beautiful and clear. There is often, almost every day, the clouds gather and there are thunderstorms in the area. Sometimes we get them right here, and other times they're in the distance. But the morning is almost always clear. So let's continue down the road. You can see the church poking up among. There are a couple of hermitages which I won't be able to show you. There are people there and they like their privacy. Before we head over to the church, though, let's take a little walk down towards the river. Surprisingly close. This is the Chama River. Don't know too many details about it, but it appears to flow year-round. And I do know that the wildlife really likes having some water handy. There are a lot of deer tracks around the edge of it. For the monastery. They do filter it for the kitchen, but you can tell it's river water when you turn on the shower. guests. You can come and talk, read. Some nice background music, which is I do know one of the brethren who's Indian. And horses. Well, it is June 29th, 2016, and I have climbed up to the base of the bluffs above the monastery of Christ in the desert. And here's a view looking down the road that I came in on with the Chaman River next to it. And I'm going to give you a little panoramic view of the monastery. First is the guest house, where most of the guests stay. There are 13 rooms. Two of them doubles. As we get around to the main part of the monastery, you can see that there's lots of solar panels. There is no electric service to here. The monastery is completely self-sufficient. It does have a couple of backup generators, but I believe it's using most of its electricity from solar right now. Well, I think that probably concludes my little tour of the monastery of Christ in the desert. And I think I'll end it by giving you a 360 from kind of in the middle of where everything is.